Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Join me for an interlude in suspense, laden with the chilling fear of the unknown and the unexpected. Out there, in what we are pleased to call the state of nature, the strong kill the weak. Fang and claw provide the only law. Well, man, as you know, is a natural animal. But for countless centuries, he's been trying to change all that, with indifferent success on the whole. But there is hope, because man, after all, has a thing called a conscience. And it works. Not always as promptly or completely as all of us might wish, but it works. And sometimes it may start working before we're even aware of it.
Yes, you've always helped me, Walter. You've always been there when I needed you. I wouldn't be alive today if it weren't for you.
Well, then why, George? Why are you so angry?
I'll tell you why. It's because you're so smug, so righteous, so much better than me.
Am I? When did I ever throw any of it in your face?
You don't have to. You know, that's all. You just know. I can see that air of superiority oozing right through you.
I'm sorry, George.
So am I. But you have just done me your last good turn.
George, what are you doing with that gun?
What do you think? I'm going to kill you.
Our mystery drama, The Deadly Process, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Norman Rose and Ralph Bell. It is sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser, and Sign Off, the sinus medicines. I'll be back shortly with Act One. Sometimes a reunion can result in a most traumatic experience. You know, these get-togethers of old army buddies or old college pals. The greatest pain does not really result from the awareness of the thinning hair and the thickening paunch. It comes from the stinging stab of recognition that precious time is now gone forever, and golden opportunity has been irretrievably wasted. And this pain will leave an aching void for a fulfillment that can never come. However, neither Walter Stallings nor George Loomis has arrived at this point of the evening yet.
Hey, George, remember the time you had a thing for that Latin professor's wife?
Oh, yeah. He was at least twice her age, and she was so frustrated, so unhappy. Well, someone had to bring a bit of sunshine into her life. Poor little girl.
Hey, you remember? You were all set to elope with her. I got Red Garrity and Stan Jakowski from the football team to sit on you till I could pound some sense into your head.
Oh, I hated you that day, Walter.
She only meant it as a gag.
I didn't see it then. Actually, Walt, I see a lot of things now.
Oh? Like what?
Well, it seems to me that whenever I was in a real jam, you were always there to bail me out.
Just coincidence.
I don't know if I would have made it without you.
Hey, George, shouldn't you call your wife?
Why?
Oh, won't she be worried?
About what? I told Louise, an old college buddy I hadn't seen in 10 years, had dropped in, and we were going to dinner.
You mean she buys a story like that?
Well, sure. Louise is unlike any girl you or I ever knew. It's as if... well, she's not of this world.
Oh? Well, which world is she a part of?
Well, no world that you or I ever knew or thought about. It's a kind of a world of the spirit.
The spirit? Sounds spooky.
No. There's a quality to Louise that seems to see. It seems to sense things that are unsaid, unknown.
Oh, is that so?
Oh, yeah. I think you'd be a shock to her system.
New subject. George, why do you think I called you today?
You happen to be in town.
No. I didn't happen to be in town. I came to see you. I heard that you were with Tricon Chemical.
Yeah, I'm just about hanging in there.
Yes, but you are head of special research projects.
Today. Tomorrow I may be out on my ear.
Because you can't come up with an ore reduction process.
How did you know?
Everybody knows. Here, Tricon's sitting on the world's biggest known ore deposit, and you can't figure a profitable way to bring it up.
And that, Walter, may cost me my job.
Now, all is not lost, old buddy. Back in college, you remember Professor Pelham?
Pelham? Pelham?
Yeah. He was the great authority on the reduction of non-ferrous metallic ores, and I was his star
Oh,
pupil.
Pelham, of course. I remember that paper you wrote.
The theory was absolutely sound, but the technique was ahead of its time.
But the technology exists today. It can be done. Hey, Walter, I have this feeling you're going to save me again.
I have the paper right here. Are you interested?
Am I interested? Is a drowning man interested in a life preserver? And look, Walter, there's a fortune in it for you.
No, I don't care about the money so much. I'll tell you what I need.
Well, anything, Walter, anything. If this can work out, you're going to be a rich man.
I need the credit. Hey, George, let's call it the Stallings-Loomis process.
But I didn't do anything to...
But you will. You have to make certain refinements to adapt it to your particular situation.
Yeah. I have the feeling. I just have the feeling I'm saved. First thing in the morning, I'll get an agreement drawn up.
Oh, come on, George. Two old buddies like you and me, a handshake's enough. Share and share alike. Is it a deal, George?
It's a deal. Mr. Loomis? George Loomis? Who are you? Call me, Mr. Even. Even? Yeah. It's because of what I do. Well, what do you do? I even things up. I don't think I understand. Well, you borrowed some money from some pals of mine. I beg your pardon? And things are kind of shaky. See what I mean? I'm afraid Come on. It's late at night. You want to get home? I want to go home. So these pals of mine naturally eats a lot of dough when they feel consigned. I'll repay the money. These pals of mine, they keep an ear to the ground. They hear things. They hear you may be losing your job. Well, that's ridiculous. Well, that's not for me to say. My pals just want you to know that the dough has got to come through on time, one way or another. Well, you tell your friends that there's nothing to worry about. Not anymore.
George, darling.
Louise.
I didn't hear you come home.
I didn't want to disturb you, my dear.
Why are you sitting up so late?
I'm working.
Well, you can come to bed now, dear.
Well, I haven't finished.
George, dear. I know that you've just seen the answer.
The answer?
The answer to the problem that's been plaguing you for so long.
How do you know?
I know, dearest. I know. I can see it in your face. You have found the answer, haven't you?
I've been considering a new approach.
And?
And it looks promising. It's a highly technical process. It has to do with the separation of certain metallic ores. Well, anyhow, I think I have it licked. I think I have the answer.
The answer. Oh, George, that's what fascinates me. Now, how did you arrive at the answer? Was it a rearrangement of old elements? Or was it the addition of something new? Or was it a sudden flash of insight?
Yes, a sudden flash of insight.
Oh, darling, I'm so happy. I told you. You trust your subconscious. All the meaningful answers are hidden there. Now, tell me about this college friend of yours, Walter Stallings.
Walter... Well,
I would have been glad to join you for dinner.
Why, no, dear.
After all, old friends have a certain precious quality.
We weren't exactly old friends.
Oh? I thought you said that he was...
Well, we were acquaintances, really. Nothing more. I only saw him because because I didn't want him to think I was snubbing him.
Well, that was very kind of you, darling.
I didn't want to hurt his feelings.
I can't imagine you hurting anyone.
It killed an evening. I suppose such things can't be helped. We can expect a production schedule to be set up for the period from the 15th through... Miss Dawson, you'll have to check that date, and with Kelsey and his people, they have those dates. We must also make sure...
Oh, George.
Hey, Walt.
Nice day.
Let me shut this thing open.
How did I get in here? Well, let's say I sweet-talked that receptionist into looking the other way. I promise you won't fire her.
I promise.
You are a hard man to see, Georgie.
Well, we're swamped here.
But I sent my name in.
Well, as you can see, I'm dictating. My regular girl is out sick.
Yeah. Well, George, how we doing? Process-wise, you know, the Stallings-Loomis process?
It's in the works.
The works?
Well, as you know, the theory is 100% sound. Now, what manufacturing is doing, they're setting up the cost estimates.
Well, how long do they sit on it?
Well, a couple of weeks, a month, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I just dropped in, you know.
Sure, I know.
And as soon as you get the word...
You'll be the first to know.
Oh, that's great. Hey, look, how about some lunch, huh?
Oh, we're in such a hassle here, Walter. There's hardly time to grab a sandwich at the desk.
As you said, George, it's worth a fortune. You know what I'm going to do with my half?
What?
Nothing. Just sit on the beach and count the waves. I'll have a couple of girls to help me keep score. And champagne.
Well, you'll deserve it. I'll be in touch.
Oh, it occurs to me, you don't know where I'm staying. I'm at the City Line Motor Inn.
Oh, well, let me write that down.
Yeah, okay. And, look, I really should meet Louise. I'll be on my best behavior.
Well, let me check with her and find out what night she's free.
Loomis, George Loomis, let me be the first to shake your hand.
Mr. Barker.
George, it works. It works. And when you see the bonus you're in for, well, we can talk about that later. The technique works, and we'll call it the Loomis reduction process.
Hey, wait a minute.
Who is this, George?
My name is Walter Stallings, and, well, if you're saying what I think you're saying, that's my process you're talking about.
George, what is this man saying?
Mr. Barker, he just broke into my office. He's been threatening...
George, what are you saying?
Well, who is he? Do you know him?
Does he know me? We were roommates at college.
What's going on here?
I can explain everything, Mr. Barker.
George, what are you trying to pull?
I knew this man, Mr. Barker, a long time ago at school. He was
George!
He was always a little bit off.
This process, this ore reduction process, it is mine. I created it. It belongs to me.
Now, Walter, you simply can't go around having these tantrums.
Let me call security. We'll have this man removed.
But it's mine. It belongs to me. I discovered it more than 10 years ago.
Sure. Now, Walter, you go home, rest. You'll feel better tomorrow.
George, what are you trying to do to me?
Look here, whoever you are, whatever your name is, you'd better leave now, peacefully and quietly, or I can promise you, you'll see the inside of a prison cell.
Who do you think you're talking to, you fat old walrus?
Now, Walter.
And you too. You steal my process and you think you can throw me in jail.
All right, Walter, that's enough.
You thief.
Now, take it easy,
Let's
Walter.
call the police.
Sure, let's call the police and let's give them a good reason for coming.
Oh,
And now, for you, fatty. Back to you, George. You get up.
All right.
You haven't had enough.
You're crazy.
George, why? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
Why? We ask why also. And yet, it's the oldest story in the world, isn't it? While half a loaf may be better than none, the entire loaf is best of all. The loaf will have to be sliced, and we shall see who will hold the knife when I return shortly with Act Two. In a general way, one should have faith in humanity and trust in one's friends. It's when we leave generalities and come down to specifics that the rub comes in. Walter Stallings trusted George Loomis, and when the dust had settled, George had stolen Walter's valuable industrial process, and Walter was jailed for disorderly conduct when he protested such shabby treatment. Is there no justice? It all depends on what justice really is.
More coffee, darling?
Half a cup, maybe. I should be leaving for the office.
George, what's this in the newspaper? What?
Where, dear?
Darling, it mentions your name. Chemical company executives in brawl?
Oh, that, I should have looked at the paper and slipped that thing out.
Why? What is it?
Well, I know how upsetting things like this can be
George,
to you.
what does this mean?
It means, darling, that people in Mr. Barker's position, my position, can often be at the mercy of every nut, every crank that comes down the pike.
Yes, I don't understand. It says that you stole that process from Walter Stallings.
No, dear, it doesn't say that. It says Walter Stallings claims I stole it.
But it says right...
There are 4 paragraphs in the story. 3 of them are concerned with what Walter Stallings claims. And notice the sympathetic tone. The 4th paragraph is a brief couple of sentences in which our company denies all of his allegations. That's because he's just one man and we are a mammoth corporation, and the public will sympathize with the underdog.
But what are the facts, dear? I mean, you did meet with Walter, let's say 10 days or 2 weeks ago.
Of course.
Well, what happened?
We chatted.
Was the process mentioned?
Well...
And did it have anything to do with the meeting you had with Walter?
Yes, we were just sitting around trying to make talk.
But did you talk about the process?
Well, let me tell you how. He said to me, I hear your company's having trouble trying to reduce some ores. And I said, yes. And he said, I'll bet you don't remember. And I said, remember what? And he said, oh, you did a pretty good paper on that back in college. And suddenly...
Yes, dear?
Well, suddenly it all came back to me. Just like that.
What did?
A theoretical problem I'd once solved in an exam. Isn't it remarkable, darling, how quickly we forget so many of the basics?
And that's the process that he's talking about.
Yes, dear, that's the process.
But why should he claim that...
Oh, well, darling, he's a peculiar person. He always was. We were at school together. I got somewhere he didn't.
Well, I think it's awful.
Well, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. After he cools down, after a couple of days in jail, I'll put up his bond.
Oh, George, that would be so kind of you.
And I tell you, I think ethically he's entitled to something.
Oh, I'm so happy you feel that way.
Well, I admit I was stumped up against it. He did contribute something. He reminded me that I had the answer. In that sense, he helped me find it. And in that sense, morally, he's entitled to a finder's fee. When I get the bonus, I'll give him a few $1,000s.
Oh, George, I love you so much. George, is that you?
No, it isn't George. It's Walter Stallings. And you must be Louise.
Yes, who...
May I come in?
Well...
It does look like a china shop. I promise I won't be a bull.
What are you saying, Mr. Stallings?
Oh, Walter, after all, when a woman's husband steals a man's most precious possession, the woman can at least call him by his first name.
But what are you...
What am I doing here? Well, I can't get to see George at the office. They have security guards all over the place.
Please, Mr. Stallings,
Walter, I'll tell you what I'm doing here. I have come to beat the living daylights out of George.
What good would that do?
I didn't say it would do any good. But, my dear Louise, what is left?
Listen, I have a feeling for people. I just know that you're not a bad person.
Oh, is that so?
Actually, you're a very good man. Now, Walter, why do you insist that my husband stole your formula?
Because it's the truth.
I cannot believe that George, who's so gentle, so kind and sensitive, could think of behaving in such a despicable manner.
I guess you believe that. Oh, yes, it's a lovely little place you have here. Everything seems so delicate. It's peaceful. It's a world of its own. Well, I hope the real world never breaks in here.
But it has broken in.
Well, I'm sorry.
May I get you a cup of tea?
Tea? Here's a woman's husband steals my work and she offers me a cup of tea.
I like you, Walter.
Oh, you like me?
There's something about you that's very straightforward. You're an honest man.
Wait just a minute. Are you saying that I am right and George is wrong?
You can be honest and still be mistaken.
Yeah, sure.
Walter, listen to me. Try to shed your anger.
I am entitled to my anger. I know what happened.
Are you convinced that the formula belongs to you?
Now, look here.
Please, answer.
Yes.
Then you don't need anger. You don't need bitterness.
What do I need?
You need peace of mind, calm, serenity.
I always had those things. It's because my formula's been stolen that I'm no longer serene, calm, peaceful.
If you truly owned those qualities, you could never really lose them.
You know, you're a witch.
Please.
I came in here with blood in my eye, ready to kill. And now...
And now?
Well, now I feel so different. What did you do to me?
Nothing. You probably found yourself.
Yes, I did. I just remembered something.
What?
Oh, the basic relationship that existed between George and me.
And what was that?
Oh, well, you wouldn't want to hear it.
No, if it's the truth.
Well, he was kind of dumb. I was always getting him out of jams.
That's how you saw it.
This is typical of the stupid things he's always done.
You're not supposed to be angry, remember?
Oh, I'm not angry. I bear him no malice. It's his way, and he can't help it. Why did I blow my stag? Oh, wait a minute. Good Lord, I have my proof.
You mean what appears to be proof?
Pelham. Professor Pelham.
Who?
My old metallurgy prof. He's an internationally respected authority. He'd remember. I'm sorry, Louise.
For what?
Well, you love George, and you helped me just now to come up with the evidence that can destroy him.
No, Walter. The truth will never destroy anybody. I had a visitor this afternoon. As a matter of fact, he just left.
Oh?
Walter Stallings.
Walter...
He's really a very sweet person.
Louise, the man is violent.
No, he's just troubled, confused.
Look, if he even made so much as a hint of a threat...
We became friends.
I don't believe it.
Why not? He's just a nice man.
Oh, darling, you don't know anything about...
About what?
About the real world.
Dear, why do you keep insisting I know nothing about the real world? I'm very much aware of it.
He's hysterical, unstable. He could have beaten you. There's only one way to treat wild animals.
Oh, and what's that?
Lock them up.
In the first place, he's not an animal. Secondly, locking people up never solves anything. And thirdly, we found a way to handle the problem.
You what?
He must be made to face reality. And reality is that he must give up these hallucinations that the process belongs to him.
Well, I agree with that completely.
Now, he happened to mention an old college professor.
Oh.
Oh, what was the name again? Pelham?
Pelham?
Yes, he said that Pelham could vindicate him.
He said that?
Well, of course, we know it's impossible. Pelham will disillusion him. Well, Professor Pelham will, won't he?
Well, of course.
And thus, Walter will have to face the truth. I gather he respects Pelham, and Pelham has no ulterior motives, so he'll have to accept Pelham's word. So you see, my darling, these things always work themselves out. You don't need violence, force, and... Where are you going?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm due back at the shop.
You have to work again tonight.
I'm afraid so.
Oh, well, try not to stay too late.
Well, I mustn't make a promise I can't keep. I'm afraid I'll be out very late.
it's Mr. Stallings.
Good morning, Morty. You're more beautiful than ever. Oh, how I longed for you all these years.
You're still full of your own nonsense.
Can I have a cup of coffee with the professor? What?
The professor. He ain't in.
Oh?
He's, gone to one of them, conferences.
Where?
One of them foreign countries.
Really?
Yes, he'll be gone a while because he'll go on a sabbatical.
Morty, why are you lying?
Oh, honest, Mr. Stallings.
You don't know how to lie, Morty. You make a horrible mess of it. Now, you tell the professor that I'm here.
But he...
Yes?
Oh, he's in his study.
Thank you, Morty.
Come in.
Hello, Professor.
Why, it's,
Walter Stallings.
Walter. Sit. Find a chair.
Now, what's this bit you're not in?
I'm trying to write my book.
Same book?
Same book. It's good to see you, Walter.
Professor, you are going to save my life. Do you remember a paper I wrote for you, 10, 11 years ago?
It's going back a long time ago.
Yeah, but you said that you'd never forget that paper.
I did?
Yes, it was all about new methods of reduction of non-ferrous metals.
Oh, Walter, the years come and go.
But you were so taken with it. You kept the original, and I had to make a copy for my own files.
Walter, if I kept copies of all the papers my students wrote, my home would be a warehouse.
But, Professor, you wrote such glowing praise on practically every page.
I'm sorry. I just can't recall it.
Look, I brought the idea in that paper to George Loomis. You recall him, the class dummy?
I don't see.
Well, believe it or not, he is head of research at Tricon Chemical, and, well, he stole the process from me.
Oh, I can hardly believe this.
I guess he came down here to buy you off, huh?
What? How dare you?
How much did he offer you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, I hope that your conscience...
Walter, I really don't remember. Yes, George was here. He offered me a consultantship at Tricon, and I'm getting very old, and I never made any real money.
Yeah, sure.
And Walter, I really don't remember. I really don't remember.
Good night, Professor.
Mr. Stallings.
Yes, Morty.
Forgive him. He's getting senile. That man in there is not the same Professor Pelham you used to worship. I used to worship.
I know, Morty. I know. But what can be done? Oh, nobody can help me now.
Don't say nobody. I can save you. And I can save him.
How, Morty?
I've got the paper.
What? The paper? My paper?
That paper. He kept it for himself because he liked it so much. And then the other day he says to me, Maudie, burn this. Well, I couldn't understand. It just ain't like him.
Oh, Morty, how can I ever thank you?
But why should you thank me? I'm only doing the right thing.
Now I've got him. Now, Mr. George Loomis, look out.
He stands there, Walter Stallings, holding a sheaf of technical-looking typewritten pages. A treatise written with youthful enthusiasm as part of a college exercise. And now it determines the profits of $1 billion international corporation and the lives of at least 3 human beings. We'll see where the process leads us when I return shortly with Act 3. Somewhere, sometime, someone has surely given us the following advice. Always get it in writing. So much of the anguish of this world results because we fail to heed that advice. Walter Stallings had a problem because he didn't get an agreement from George Loomis in writing. However, luckily, miraculously, somehow, Walter has managed to come up with the most effective writing of all.
Come in, George. Sit down.
Yes, sir.
George, we have a problem. Stallings is taking us to court.
He hasn't a leg to stand on.
Are you sure?
He's a crank. It's one of those nuisance things.
Are you sure? He has no proof.
Nothing.
Written? Oral?
Absolutely none.
Then we have to fight him. But something bothers me.
What's that?
I've had some research done on him. He seems to be a very competent man. He has a good reputation. What makes you think he can't win in court?
Mr. Barker, he doesn't have a chance in the world.
I hope so, George. For your sake.
Oh, Miss Dawson? No. I won't see anyone. Just tell him I'm out of town.
Hello.
Now, look here, Mr.
Mr. Even. You still owe my pal some money.
Look, I received a promotion. I'm getting a bonus.
Yeah, that was as of yesterday.
But I am getting a bonus.
Yeah, but today is a lawsuit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, what does it mean? Big corporations are constantly being sued.
Regardless, if this guy wins.
He can't win.
If he wins, where would it leave you? Out of a job and broke. You see the position I'm in. As a starter, I'd have to bust your legs.
Well, he can't.
He what? Can he win?
He has a chance.
Okay. So now I know where we stand. I know what I gotta do.
I may be wrong.
He has to have no chance at all. I hear somebody coming. I want to make sure it's the right guy. I keep in the shadow, you guys. I'll ask him for a light. If it's him, I'll cough. And then you guys step up and take care of him. Excuse me, pal. You got a light?
Yeah, I think so.
Thanks.
Hey, what?
Chester, hand me his briefcase. I'll see if he's got something interesting in it. Don't take any dough, nothing from his wallet. We gotta make this look like an automobile accident. Just let him lay there. Poor guy. He was crossing the street and some hit-and-run driver knocked him off.
Mr. Stallings.
Walter.
Of course, Walter. Please, come in.
Thank you.
Walter,
Yes?
is something the matter?
Why do you ask?
There's something about you that...
Yes.
I don't know. It's as if you're not really here. As if I'm...
Imagining it?
No. This isn't a dream or a delusion. I'm awake. I know I'm awake. Look. Hold out your hand. I'd like to touch you. Walter, let me touch your hand. Walter? Walter? Where are you?
Now, darling, it must have been an illusion of some sort.
But I'm so positive.
When did you say it happened?
With exactly 9 o'clock. I was just about to listen to the news.
Darling, here is why he couldn't have been here.
George, why do you insist?
Because at 7 o'clock he was found by a police car.
What?
A hit-and-run driver.
Oh, no.
He was taken to the hospital. He was...
Dead?
almost. He's in a coma. He's not expected to live.
But he was here.
No, darling.
I saw him. We spoke.
Darling, it's your imagination.
I'll go to him. I'll go to the hospital.
You can't. How would it look?
It would look like what it is, a visit from a friend. Walter?
He can't hear you, Mrs. Lewis.
He can, Doctor. He can. And I can hear him.
Louise.
Yes, Walter.
I had to leave you before, because I wasn't dead yet.
What are you saying, Walter?
Mrs. Loomis, he isn't saying anything.
Louise, I have to see George. When I'm dead, he mustn't worry. I'll still help him.
Of course. You'll help George.
I've always helped him. I'll still help him after I'm dead.
Walter. Oh, Walter.
Mrs. Loomis, you must leave now.
After I'm dead, I'll come back for George.
Mrs. Loomis.
Yes. Goodbye, Walter. Goodbye for now. Doctor.
I'm sorry, but there isn't a chance in the world. He can hang on for minutes, days, but we can't save him.
But I was just talking to him. You heard.
I heard nothing. He wasn't saying anything.
But I heard him. I heard him.
Mrs. Loomis, it's just your imagination.
Taxi. You don't need a taxi, George. I got a car right here. Step inside.
Where did you come from?
We won't take up too much of your time. Let's drive through the park, Chester. It's such a nice day.
What do you want? I've paid off your friends.
We got lots of friends. Like, I got a friend who tells me if he could get his hands on Tricon's proposed development program, it would be worth a fortune. Certain people.
I dare say it would, but I have no use for espionage of any kind.
When can you let me have the plans?
I don't think you hear me.
You're the one who don't understand. Isn't listening. You give me some papers. They describe that ore process. Nobody else knows but the two of us.
You can't keep asking me to do anything like that. You can't. Now, sooner or later, I have to be caught.
You know what that is, Georgie? That's life.
Louise!
She isn't home.
What? Walter. Well, I thought you were in the hospital.
No. I'm dead.
What are you saying? You're here.
Yes. I'm here, but I'm dead.
Look, either you're crazy or I'm crazy.
George, I'm here because you sent for me.
I sent for you?
You always sent for me, George, one way or another. You always used to bring me all your troubles.
Yeah. And you're always so helpful. Maybe that's why I hated you. You always knew best. You were always right.
I couldn't help that.
Once, just once, I wanted to get the better of you. That's why I had to take your process. I had to.
Yes. Oh, you need me, George. You're in trouble again.
That's a lie.
Look ahead, George. 6 months, a year from now, you'll be completely disgraced.
That isn't true.
It's starting right now. George, that's why I'm here. That's why you wanted to see me. I have to bail you out again.
What can you do?
Come with me, George.
Come where?
Where I'm going.
Where's that?
I don't know yet. Let's go for a little walk. A nice, pleasant little walk down along the river.
Mr. Barker.
May I come in, Louise?
Please do.
Where's George?
Well, I know he was home this afternoon. He might have gone out for a walk. Is something wrong?
I'm deeply disturbed. Is it possible that George and this Walter Stallings are in cahoots? Is it a plot to hold up the company, a big shakedown?
Oh, how could you possibly suspect George?
I was driving down Garfield Boulevard and I saw them. It was just a half hour ago.
Saw whom?
George and this Walter Stallings.
But you couldn't have.
They were walking down the street together.
You saw it?
Like two long-lost friends.
Are you sure?
Well, young lady, I'd never make a mistake. I know what I saw.
But Walter Stallings is in the hospital in a coma. I was there this morning.
I understand your loyalty to your husband, but I'll bet my life on what I saw. By the time I could turn my car around, they disappeared somewhere down River Street.
Oh, excuse me.
Do you
Mr.
mind
Barker.
if I answer that, Mrs. Loomis? If that's George, I want to confront him without your...
Certainly, Mr. Barker.
Hello?
Is Mrs. Loomis there?
Who's calling?
This is Dr. Coleman.
You can tell me first.
Walter Stallings is dead.
What?
We did all we could. He died an hour ago.
But I just saw him on Garfield Boulevard.
Oh no, sir. You were mistaken. Will you tell Mrs. Loomis?
Yes. Yes. I'll tell Mrs. Loomis.
Walter Stallings is dead, isn't he?
I guess I was mistaken.
I understand, Mr. Barker.
Funny. But I did see him. I promise you won't say anything to George when you see him.
I promise. I won't say anything to George. If I see him.
If I see him. At that point, she knew. She knew what you and I have already suspected. That she wouldn't see George again. She wasn't really surprised when George's body was found in the river a few days later. She knew it was necessary for Walter to help George once again. And for better or worse, that was the way it had to be. I'll be back for better in a few moments. George Loomis, Walter Stallings. A bond, a mysterious, unbreakable bond forged between two men. Neither asked for it, neither even wanted it. But in life and in death, they would be inseparably linked. And talking about the bonds that link, we hope you'll be bonded to your set for the next mystery tale. Our cast included Norman Rose, Ralph Bell, Marion Seldes, Bob Maxwell, and Jackson Beck. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
I can't live with all this talk of astral bodies, and I can't understand it, and I don't like it.
Don't try to understand it.
I'm not going to try, Adam. I'm leaving you.
That's absurd.
Oh, as soon as it's light, I'm going to drive into town and take a room in a hotel.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you and bring you back.
It won't do any good. I'm going now, Adam.
Tessa, something's happening.
What is it?
What's happening to me? I can't stay on the bed. Tessa, hold me down. Don't let me. I'm rising in the air. I'm floating. Come back. Hold me down.
Adam, no,
I wasn't ready for this.
Adam, I'm leaving.
Come back. Hold me down. Tessa! Tessa!
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and new sugar-free Diet 7-Up. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. I'm so glad you're here. You, in person, in the flesh, bone, blood, and tissue. It's all very cozy, very comforting to think of you listening at your ease to the weird little tale we're about to bring you. But where is the rest of you? The other part of you? Where is your astral body? You didn't know you had one? What is an astral body? Well, according to the largest dictionary we could find, it is a subtle counterpart of the physical body, accompanying, but not usually separated from it. Now, the key word here is usually, for some swear that the astral body can, and on occasion does, separate itself from the physical body and go wandering off on its own.
Mother?
Yes, dear?
Is he with you now?
He just left.
But he was there.
Yes?
Mother, what you saw was Adam's astral body.
Are you telling me I saw a ghost?
It's happened again. You saw Adam, Mother, but it wasn't Adam in the flesh. Not the flesh that was lying beside me in our bed. A very different kind of flesh. Maybe not flesh at all.
Our mystery drama, Adam's Astral Self, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Michael Wager and Jennifer Harmon. It is sponsored in part by Sign-Off, the Sinus Medicines, and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One. This is the story of an actor named Adam Farr. An actor is someone whose whole effort is to become someone else, all the while remaining out of necessity himself. The character he portrays or becomes is therefore a sort of second self, living for the moment within the actor's body. Any actor can pretend. Only a very great actor can become. The second self of a great actor has a power and a pliancy that is often quite incomprehensible, and Adam Farr was a very great actor. We bring you now an account of the many strange things that happened to him, or that he made happen to himself and to others.
Ooh, Adam. Ooh, Adam, it's cold. We need another blanket. Would you get up and get one? I can't get to sleep. Adam? Adam, I'm freezing. Please get a... Adam? Adam, don't pretend with me. Please, Adam. Oh, Adam. Oh, dear.
Yes? Hello?
This is Tessa, Mother. Mother, I can't wake him up.
Adam?
Of course, Adam.
What do you mean you can't wake him up?
What I said.
He isn't sick, is he?
I don't think so.
He looked all right when he was here.
What's that? What did you say?
I said he seemed all right when he was here.
He was at your house?
He stopped by for a minute.
When was this?
A little while ago. Matter of fact, he just left when you called.
Mother, I'm coming over. I need to talk to you.
It's kind of late.
I'm getting dressed and taking the car. I'll be there in a half an hour. Adam? Adam? Oh, it's happened again.
Just a second, Tessa. Come in, darling.
Sorry to disturb you, Mother.
It's all right. Give me your coat. I'll hang it up. Is it snowing?
No, but it's about to.
Come, sit down. I've got a fire going.
Now, what's got you so upset?
When was Adam here, Mother?
I told you on the phone about an hour ago. He was only here for a minute or two. I was at the piano practicing some Chopin etudes. I looked up, and there he was. I must say I was surprised to see him so late at night, and such a bad night at that. But he smiled at me and motioned me to go on playing. And I did, and then we exchanged a few words.
Well, what did Adam say?
Heavens, I don't remember. Tessa, what is it? What's the matter?
It may interest you to know that Adam was in bed with me, in our bedroom, in our house, the entire time. Since right after dinner, lying right beside me.
You must have got up after you went to sleep.
I didn't go to sleep. We had a late dinner, then I cued him in his lines for the new play, and then we went to bed. A little later, I felt cold. I couldn't get to sleep. It was so cold, and I asked him to get up and get an extra blanket to put over us. I couldn't rouse him, and that's when I called you.
He was here. I saw him.
What you saw, Mother, was Adam's astral body.
Are you telling me I saw a ghost?
You saw Adam, Mother, but it wasn't Adam in the flesh. Not the flesh that was lying beside me in our bed. A very different kind of flesh. Maybe not flesh at all. Anyway, that's how Adam explains it.
Explains what?
It's not the first time it's happened. Remember when he was doing that play about Napoleon? He went to Corsica to see where Napoleon was born.
I don't remember Adam going to Corsica.
He didn't go to Corsica. He was rehearsing the play. He projected himself to Corsica, astrally.
You mean he imagined himself in Corsica?
He went to Corsica.
How could he if he was here?
By an act of his unconscious will. Well, that's what he says, anyway.
Tessa, dear, Adam is an actor. A very great actor. He did a lot of research on Napoleon before he did that play. Maybe he imagined.
Well, that's what I thought when he told me that he'd been there. But after the play opened, I talked to one of the actors, a bit player, who was born in Corsica. His mother still lives there, and he said his mother had seen Adam in Corsica, crossing a little footbridge. She recognized him from all the films he'd made, and she asked if she might take his picture.
You're not saying.
I'm saying she did take his picture and sent it to her son, and he showed it to me. A picture of Adam standing on a little footbridge in Corsica.
You recognized him? It really was Adam?
It wasn't a very good picture, but it was Adam, all right. I showed it to him, and he said yes. He remembered the bridge and the woman, and having his picture taken, he said he was there. I said I didn't believe him. The man in the picture must have been his double, and he laughed and said, yes, it was his double, his etheric double. In other words, his astral body, a spirit body shaped just like his own physical body. The same size. A body that could detach itself and move about wherever he wanted it to go. I never told you about this because I didn't want to frighten you, but now
It doesn't frighten me.
It frightens me.
I think it would be lovely to have an astral body and go floating about in it.
Adam says everyone has an astral body. So I suppose anyone can go floating about in it if they've a mind to. Personally, I
wonder if I could.
Adam says that when people die, you can see the astral body hovering over the earthly one.
But that's marvelous.
Well, I'm glad you think so. Because I'm leaving him, Mother. I want you to stay with Jonathan until I find a place to live.
You want to leave a wonderful man like Adam?
Do you know he thinks he can fly?
Really? Really fly? By himself?
Well, he hasn't quite got the knack of it yet, but he says that because he hasn't learned to concentrate correctly.
I used to think I could fly.
Mother, will you do it?
Come live at your house?
Or let Jonathan come live here with you?
I think it would be best if I came and stayed at your house. When were you planning to leave?
Well, just as soon as I've told Adam. Adam, wake up.
Oh, what time is it? What are you doing up?
I want to talk to you, Adam.
Huh? Hey, it's still dark out.
I'll turn the light on.
Got your clothes on. Where you been? Or are you going someplace?
I've been at my mother's house.
You
went to see Maida. What for?
Adam, were you at her house earlier this evening?
Yes. I was there for a minute. She was playing a Chopin etude, one I liked. I wanted to hear it more clearly.
You knew she was playing Chopin before you went to her house?
Why else would I go there in the middle of the night?
Mother lives 15 miles from here. How could you know that she was playing Chopin at all?
I didn't know she was. I knew. There's a difference.
Well, if there is, I can't see it.
Well, the way a farmer knows it's going to rain, he doesn't know, but he knows. He couldn't give you evidence, but he knows.
Oh, Adam.
You can call it precognition if you like. You can call it telepathy. I don't care what you call it. Would you believe me that when I asked you for the 10th time to marry me, I knew you'd say yes just before you said it? And the other 9 times I knew you'd say no and tell me it wouldn't be fair to your little boy. Oh, I don't care whether you believe me or not. It's true. It happens all the time. I don't take any credit for it. It's simply true.
The way you went to Corsica?
I did go.
And stayed here at the same time to rehearse the play. How?
Do we have to go all over that again? I don't know how I did it. I simply did it. Call it astral projection. That's what the books call it, though I've never read any of them. All I know is that when I'm in a certain state of mind...
What state of mind?
A kind of relaxed concentration. Something... Well, sometimes there's a sudden click. And then... click, click, click. And then something is released and takes off and goes free, liberated. Well, I don't expect you to understand.
And this latest notion of yours that you can fly?
Not yet. But soon. Men have flown, you know. You've heard of Peter of Alcantara, haven't you? The great Spanish ascetic. He flew over the tops of trees whenever he had a mind to. And Joseph of Cupertino, the flying monk. Everyone's heard of him. 17th century. A Capuchin. One day while he was praying, he floated off the ground and up to the altar.
No, stop.
And back again. You can say it was religious ecstasy in his case, but what about Daniel Douglas Home in the 19th century in England? What about Simon Magus at the time of the Emperor?
Oh, no. Adam, stop it. I can't listen to any more.
Oh, my poor darling, I mustn't expect you to understand. You're so sweet, so simple. How could you possibly comprehend the power of the unconscious will? The human psyche, Tessa, was designed to do more than gape at things and give them names. It can control things, not just wait for things to happen. Make them happen.
I don't understand. I don't want to understand. There is nothing to understand.
Oh, my darling, there is so much to understand. There's so much power within us, lying there, crouching there, holding its breath, waiting.
Adam, you are a great actor, a great artist. I'm just a...
Oh, being an actor has something to do with it, I suppose. Yes, in my best moments of creativity, I have the sensation of being selfless, timeless. Yes, I feel that.
But I don't feel that.
On the other hand, it may have to do with my pineal gland. There's a little grayish-red thing attached to the third vertebra. They say it looks like an eye. It actually has a retina and a lens. Imagine. And it's said to be the seat of the soul.
Adam, everything you say may be true.
Oh, it is. I haven't expressed it very well, but
it's way beyond me. I don't have your mind or your talent or your penal eye. Maybe so. I can't comprehend what you say.
Oh, it's all right, darling.
No, it's not all right because it confuses me and it makes me unhappy.
I don't want to make you unhappy, Tessa.
I can't live with all this talk of astral bodies and pineal glands. I can't understand it, and I don't like it.
Don't try to understand it.
I'm not going to try, Adam. I'm leaving you.
That's absurd.
No, as soon as it's light, I'm going to drive into town and take a room in a hotel. Mother will be here in the morning to stay with you and to look after Jonathan.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you and bring you back.
It won't do any good. I'm going now, Adam.
Tessa, something's happening.
What is it?
What's happening to me? I can't stay on the bed. Tessa, hold me down. Don't let me I'm rising in the air. I'm floating. Like Simon Majors, like Peter of Cupertino. Tessa, come back. Hold me down.
Adam, no, I
wasn't
can't.
ready for this.
Adam, I'm leaving.
Come back. Hold me down. Tessa! Tessa!
But Tessa has gone, and Adam continues to rise steadily from his bed. Perhaps it is better to fancify that one can defy gravity, if only one wanted to, than to discover that one is actually doing it when one doesn't much want to. We'll return shortly for Act Two. Adam Farr's wife, Tessa, left his house, and it is a week since her mother, whose name, by the way, is Maida, moved in. Adam, as we know, is endowed not only with a great acting talent, but also with a peripatetic soul, which on previous occasions has seen fit to take flight from his stationary body. How will he fare with only a mother-in-law to keep him anchored down?
Mr. Farr's residence.
Mother?
Tessa, I thought you'd never call. Where are you?
Well, that's what I called to tell you, but I don't want Adam to know.
Well, Adam's upstairs. I hope he hasn't picked up the extension.
He never does things like that.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm in a motel about a mile out of town on Route 9. The Valley Motel, Cabin 6.
Is it a nice place?
Nice enough. There aren't very many people here. It's out of season, but it's okay. How's everything with you?
Oh, all right. A little tense, maybe. Adam goes into rehearsal next week, you know.
I know, that always makes him tense.
But he's managed to stay in his physical body, if that's what you're worried about.
Well, I wasn't worried exactly. I just wanted to be sure you were all right. And Jonathan, how's Jonathan?
Jonathan's fine.
Has he asked about me?
I told him you went on a little trip for your health. Tessa, I better hang up. I think Adam's coming downstairs.
Okay.
Was that Tessa?
Were you listening in on the bedroom phone?
I wouldn't do a thing like that.
That's what Tessa said.
So it was Tessa.
Well, yes, it was.
Did she say anything about coming back?
No.
She's with a man, Maida.
No, she's not.
I saw her.
You couldn't have seen her. You don't even know where she is.
In my mind, I saw her with a man.
Well, your mind is mistaken.
It never is. Maida, I need her back. I go into rehearsal next week.
She knows that.
Maybe she's forgotten.
No, she hasn't.
Did she say something about it on the phone?
No, but I did.
You do realize how important it is to have her back with me before rehearsals start, don't you, Maida?
I suppose I do.
It's vital, vital.
Well, maybe.
Maida, do you feel well?
Me? I feel fine.
You don't look well. You look as though you're coming down with something.
Well, I'm not.
It must be this terrible weather we're having.
I don't mind it.
Drafty old house.
This is a nice house. God
bless you.
I've always liked this house.
You're catching a cold.
I'm not. Adam, what are you trying to do?
Don't you see, if you were to get sick, not seriously sick, just a little sick, Tessa would come back. Please, Maida.
You want me to catch a cold just to bring Tessa back to you?
If only you would. Please, Maida. Don't you...
Well, I won't. See? It's gone already. I'm fine. Adam, did you give me that cold? I mean, did you wish it on me?
I was thinking how nice it would be. Just a little cold, Maida. Nothing serious. Just a sniffle or two.
Is that you, Adam?
Yep. Run upstairs, Jonathan. Get ready for dinner. Oh, go on playing, mate. It sounded beautiful.
I've been playing all afternoon. I'm tired. Where have you been?
Oh, Jonathan and I were playing.
Playing what?
Well, We tobogganed for a while.
Looks to me like you did a little skiing.
Well, I went down a couple of slopes.
Not Jonathan, though.
He doesn't know how to ski.
You didn't offer to teach him, I hope.
He doesn't even own a pair of skis.
And he's not going to for a while yet.
Well, I sort of promised him.
You're not to promise him any such thing.
Matey's going to want them.
He's never wanted them before. Adam, did you try to talk him into learning how to ski? Did you?
He is old enough.
Did you let him use your skis?
No.
If you did...
I just let him stand on my feet while I was...
You didn't.
He was perfectly safe. I held on to him.
What if you'd fallen? Jonathan could have broken an arm or a leg. He could have been killed.
Oh, not killed, mate. I'm a good skier.
Oh, just a broken bone or two. Is that your idea?
At his age, it wouldn't have been serious.
And a cold at my age wouldn't be serious either.
Well, no.
But either one would serve to bring Tessa home. Is that it?
Made a rehearsal start next week.
You're impossible. Absolutely impossible.
Oh, what have I done? I haven't done anything.
Did you tell Jonathan to take a hot bath when you brought him home?
Is he supposed to take a hot bath?
Jonathan, you're to take off those wet clothes and get into a hot bath. You hear?
I didn't do anything.
Hello?
Tessa, I had to call you.
Yes, Mother.
I don't know if I should tell you this, but your fool husband has some sort of idea that if I got sick, you'd come home.
Are you sick?
No, I'm not sick. Adam tried to give me a cold, but I caught on right away and put a stop to it.
Well, Mother, if you're sick,
I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Now, if you just listen. Adam thinks that if I got a little cold or something, or if Jonathan were to break an arm or a leg, you'd come home.
Well, I would.
That's why I'm calling you. I'm not sick, and Jonathan is perfectly fine, and we're both going to stay that way. So you're not to worry, you hear me? Not to worry. Oh, I hear him coming downstairs now, so I'll hang up. Goodbye.
Bye, Mother. For goodness sake.
Your mother, huh?
Yes.
No trouble, I hope.
Well, she just called up to tell me everything's fine.
Oh. That was very nice of her.
Well, yes, it was.
You look worried. You want to tell me about it? I know we only met last night, but I feel I've known you for years.
It's my husband. He goes into rehearsal next week, and he's always a little, difficult just before he goes into rehearsal.
He's a marvelous actor.
Yes, he is.
I remember him in that play about Napoleon.
The Man from Corsica.
Yes, I saw it twice. Then he made the movie. I saw that 3 times. And all his other plays and all his pictures. Oh, my, what an actor.
Yes, what an actor.
It must be fascinating to live with a man like that.
Fascinating?
Well, what a personality. Wow.
Yes, wow.
Makes me wonder how you can stand spending time with somebody like me. I mean, what's the percentage?
Why, Philip, you're a very nice man. Very, very nice.
Oh, yes, perhaps, but, next to your husband.
Why do you have to say next to my husband? Next to anybody? Why can't you be all by yourself? You're good enough.
Oh, I don't know if I'd go that far.
I would, anytime.
Speaking of next to your husband, you know, I was there last night.
What? You were there?
Yes, standing right next to him. In my dream. I had a dream about him. Of course, I recognized him right away from his movies and all, but I must say I never thought I'd meet him. Not even in a dream.
What happened in the dream? Did he give you his autograph or what?
No, nothing like that. Not much of anything happened. I was right here in this room, or maybe it was in my own room. These motel rooms all look alike, and I turned around, and there he was. Oh, I was so impressed. Even in my sleep, I was so impressed I couldn't get my mouth open to say anything. I just looked at him. And he looked back at me, and... oh, boy. Did he look sad.
Sad?
Yes. Sort of shook his head like he couldn't stand it, or he was sorry for me or something. He was so sad.
Philip, then what happened?
I woke up. Huh. Crazy kind of a dream to have, wasn't it? I must be nuts. You think so?
Not you, Philip. Not you. No, not you.
Bring your coffee into the living room, Adam. There's a fire going. Terrible weather. Absolutely terrible.
You feeling all right, Nada?
I feel fine, so don't start that again.
I just asked.
Jonathan is fine, too.
That's good. Here's your coffee.
Whatever gave you the idea you could make either one of us sick? Just by thinking of it.
Oh, not really sick. Just a little.
Just enough so Tessa would come back.
Yes.
How did you figure she would know?
Oh, she'd know.
We don't all have your psychic gifts, Adam.
Yes, you do. Only you don't use them.
Oh, Adam.
Tessa would have known. There's a good deal of telepathy between Tessa and me. I'd know if she was sick.
That doesn't mean it works both ways.
It must work both ways. It must.
Don't count on it.
Mate, if I could only convince you. There's a huge reservoir of feeling in us all. And that feeling is full of power and resources, cleverness, inspiration. Every man and woman alive possesses it. Not just geniuses and mystics and philosophers. Everyone has it. The meanest of us. But most of us won't use it. We let it lie dormant while we coast down the slide of our humdrum days toward the grave.
You may have it, Adam. You are, after all, a very great actor.
I don't act by myself. I don't act for myself. I act in front of people, for people, and they react. Something profound in me is rousing something profound in them. The thing that's in me is calling to the same thing in them. Oh, what's the use? You don't want to understand. It's all so futile and so tiring.
Adam, I may as well tell you. I phoned Tessa and told her.
Told her what?
Your little plot to make me come down with something, or Jonathan. I felt she should know.
That's all right. You thought you were doing the right thing.
I'm glad you're not angry.
Doesn't make any difference. It's perfectly clear my powers are failing anyway. If they weren't, you'd have got sick, or Jonathan would have had a little accident, and Tessa would have come home. No matter what you did or didn't do.
You mean you're beginning to lose faith in yourself?
I guess I am.
You don't think any more that you can fly?
Tessa would only come home.
Well, she won't.
She'll never come home, and I'm lost.
Adam, what's the matter?
I don't feel well.
What is it?
I don't feel at all well.
Adam. Why, you have a fever. Your head is hot.
I'm sick. I'm burning up.
I'm going to call the doctor.
No. Maida, come back here. I don't want a doctor.
But you need
I don't need anything. I'm sick. I have a fever. I think it's a very high fever. Yes, I am sick. I'm very sick. And now my wife will come home.
We all know there are people who will do anything to get what they want. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll even murder. And if everything else fails, they'll get sick. Such a one is Adam Farr, the great actor who is now not acting. Not with a fever of 105, he isn't. I'll be back shortly with Act 3. After unsuccessful attempts to confer telepathically a small ailment on his mother-in-law and a minor injury on his stepson in order to bring his wife home, Adam Farr, actor extraordinary, has now come down with a raging fever, which we assume he conferred upon himself. Where there's a will, there's a way. And Adam Farr has a very powerful will.
Do try to lie still, Adam. I want to change the compresses.
Rehearsals. Next week. rehearsals. I start rehearsals.
If you don't let me take care of you, there won't be any rehearsals, so please lie still.
Tessa, I need you. Tessa, come home to me. Tessa. I'm dying.
Adam, let me call a doctor.
Not yet. Not till Tessa comes home.
I'm going to get some more ice, Adam. Will you be all right?
I'll be all right when my wife comes back to me. I'll fly to meet her.
You'll do no flying of any kind. You're weak as a kitten. Now lie there quietly if you can while I get more ice for the compresses.
Maida, don't leave me.
I'll be right back.
I think she's coming home. Tessa, are you coming home? Yes. Yes, you are on the way. You're driving along the road to our house. Oh, drive carefully, my precious. A little faster. But carefully, my love, carefully. Yes, that's it. The turn is up ahead. You haven't forgotten it, have you? That's it. Now, up the driveway between the rows of fir trees that we've planted ourselves. Now, slow down for that last curve. Now, stop. You are here. I knew you'd come. Oh, I knew it, my love. I'll fly to meet you. This is the moment for me to fly. Wait for me, my love. Out of ahead. Over to the window. Wait. Lord, how weak I am. It won't be easy to fly. Float through the window, straight down to you. You're getting out of the car now. Yes. The window's closed. Wait, my darling. I've only got to open it. It doesn't. Oh, and I've looked. No. There it is. I think I've got it. Wait a little more, and I'll fly out the window and down to you a little bit more. Oh, Tessa, I couldn't quite manage it.
I have the Adam, you got out of bed. Are you all right?
Yes, all right.
Whatever possessed you?
Answer the door, Maida.
Let me help you up.
Leave me here and go answer the door.
What?
There is someone at the door.
No, there is not.
Tessa. Tessa's at the door. Go, let her in.
Tess, it was uncanny. There's no other word for it. I'd gone to get some ice from the kitchen. I suppose that's why I didn't hear the car drive up. When I went back, he was lying on the floor by the window. It was open a few inches. He must have opened it. Heaven knows what he was trying to do. Whatever it was, the effort was too much for him, and he collapsed. I tried to get him back into bed, but he said never mind, to answer the door. I thought, well, now he's really delirious because there wasn't a sound. He said there's someone at the door. I said, no, there's no one. He said Tessa's come home. And then we heard the door knocker.
Oh, Mother, we both know by now Adam's a very strange man.
You know I told you on the phone he wanted me to develop a cold, or Jonathan to have a little accident, just to bring you home. Well, it never occurred to me he'd make himself sick, but he did. And look, it brought you home.
I suppose we should go up and see how he is.
Yes, we should. I left him lying on the floor. He seemed perfectly lucid and very calm. I was the one who was frantic when I heard the knock at the door.
Well, now you've got some idea what it's like living with a man like Adam.
Yes, I have. Well, he got himself back in bed anyway. That's good. Adam?
He's sleeping.
It's the first time he's slept since he took sick.
Adam?
Adam?
It's Tessa. I'm here.
Adam? What's the matter with him?
It's like the other times.
You mean...
His astral body has gone someplace else.
Gone? Where?
Heaven only knows.
Here's tea for both of us, dear. Lord knows we need it.
Thank you, Mother.
It's all so strange, isn't it?
Very strange.
Not just this. Not just his leaving his body this way, but the whole thing. How he made you come back and everything. Tess, tell me, how did he get the message to you? How did the telepathy work?
It didn't.
What do you mean it didn't? You're here.
I'm not here because of Adam, Mother.
You're not?
I'm not here because he's sick. I had no idea there was anything wrong with him.
But you're here? Why
I came back to tell him that the separation's final. Permanent. Mother, I've met a man, a very nice man. He'll be here pretty soon. You'll meet him. I hope you like him.
Well, of course, if
He's a very ordinary man. There's nothing unusual about Philip. He's like 100 million other men.
You love him?
I think I do. Of course, I've only known him a short time. He was staying at the motel. We were almost the only people there. We spent a lot of time together. And oh, Mother, it was so restful, so peaceful.
Well, darling, of course I don't want to influence you, but do you know how much Adam loves you?
I suppose.
All the time you've been away, he's talked of nothing but you. You know he goes into rehearsal next week.
I know.
He says he can't do it without you.
He'll have to.
Tessa, when I went in to check on him, he looked so different. So quiet and content. I'm sure that must be because you came home. I know he thought he'd brought you home. But even so...
Mother, I can't be concerned anymore with what Adam thinks.
Tessa, when I went back into the bedroom with the ice cubes and found Adam on the floor, he was right in front of the window, and his fingers were bleeding, and the window was open a couple of inches.
Mother.
Tessa, I think he was trying to fly.
You don't...
Yes, I do. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I've made fun of him about this notion he could fly. I've made fun of him about a lot of things. Your ordinary man would have been resentful or angry or embarrassed. But not Adam. He was very sweet, very humble.
Humble? Adam humble?
My dear, he doesn't claim extraordinary powers for himself. He says we all have them.
Well, I don't have them. Oh, that must be Philip. Now, be nice to him, Mother.
Well, of course.
Come in, Philip.
Yes, thank you.
Philip, this is my mother. Mother,
How do you do? My daughter's been telling me about you.
Hello.
Will you have some tea, Philip?
No, thank you. Tessa...
Well, come sit down anyway.
Tessa, I've got to tell you something.
Would you like me to leave? I'll go upstairs and check on Adam.
Is he here?
Of course he's here.
he's been sick, Philip.
But I just saw him.
You couldn't have.
Well, yes, he didn't look sick. He looked very well.
Where do you think you saw him?
On the road. Just outside the house. He was standing in the middle of the road.
Well, that's impossible, Philip. He's been upstairs in bed since last night.
No, he was standing in the middle of the road, I tell you, waving his arm.
Philip, you imagined it. Remember, you had a dream about him one night back at the motel?
No, look, this wasn't any dream. I was driving along looking for the house, and there he was right in the middle of the road.
No, Philip.
I talked to him.
And just what did he say?
He said that if I took his wife away from him, he'd kill me.
Oh, Philip.
But you must understand, Philip, that wasn't the real Adam Farr who said that.
Well, then who was it?
It was the astral Adam Farr.
I don't understand. What's that, his stand-in?
Well, something like that.
Tessa, I don't want you to think he scared me or anything like that. I mean, it was sort of sudden and it was spooky, but I still want you to come away with me. I mean, I'll take my chances if you will.
Tessa?
Will you? Will you, Tessa?
I don't know.
We can go a long ways away from here.
Well, let me think about it.
All right. If you want to.
Go back to the motel. I'll call you in a day or two.
All right, I'll be there. And whatever you decide, I know you'll decide the right thing.
I hope so.
I'll be right by the phone. I'll have my meals sent in. Call me any time of the day or night.
I'll show you to the door, Philip.
Tessa, remember, I love you.
I'll remember.
I'll be waiting for your call.
She'll call you.
Wait, Philip. Wait.
He's gone.
Call him back. I'm going with him.
You're sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm going to get my coat. Tell him to wait for me.
If you're sure. Philip? Philip! Oh, good Lord! Adam!
What was that noise?
Look there!
Oh, no. It's Adam and Philip. They're not moving, either of them. Well, what happened?
Adam jumped from the bedroom window. Philip was standing right beneath it.
He killed him. Just as he said he would.
Either that, or he was trying to fly.
I'll call the police.
Oh, wait. Do you see it?
See what?
That mist rising from their bodies. Thin, bluish, a sort of vapor floating toward the sky. See? There it goes. There it goes.
A spirit of the same size and shape as the physical body, which can detach itself and move about in space and time. In the last moment of life, it detaches itself in the form of a thin bluish vapor and moves upward. That is how Adam Farr would describe the astral self. And for all I know, he's perfectly right. Anyway, it's pleasant to think so. I'll be back shortly. Perhaps you didn't believe a word of our story. I wouldn't blame you. I'm not 100% positive I believe it myself. On the other hand, I'm not 100% positive I didn't believe it either. We are, after all, dealing here with the human soul. And when it comes to the human soul, I'm ready to believe anything. Or, on the other hand, nothing. Our cast included Michael Wager, Jennifer Harmon, Jacqueline Brooks, and William Redfield. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
And we're twins, remember?
Yes, twins.
We always think alike, right?
We always think alike.
I want to kill him. Don't you?
I want to kill him.
Then listen. Tomorrow night, he'll go to bed early. He'll be fast asleep by 10 o'clock, you understand?
Fast asleep by 10 o'clock.
I can promise you that. I won't be here. But when the grandfather clock strikes 10, you're going to go to the dining room, right?
When it strikes 10, I go to the dining room.
In the sideboard drawer. You know which one. His dad's carving knife. The one he keeps honed to a razor's edge with the sharp point, remember?
I remember. The carving knife.
Right. And then go to his bedroom and plunge it into his chest.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by new sugar-free diet 7-Up and Buick Motor Division. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. The world, it is said, has changed over the centuries, but people have not. Perhaps this is because all too often the human heart is more intent on seeking its own pleasure, satisfying its own selfish needs, than giving thought to others. But there is innocence, too, and love, and selflessness. And it is the interplay of these good and evil forces that form the warp and woof of the strange and horrifying tale I bring you now. Listen.
Oh, Murray, I tell you it was Chris. I talked to him. Chris is alive.
Andrea, Chris is dead.
No! Whoever is buried in that grave, it isn't Chris.
Our mystery drama, My Sister, Death, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Paul Hecht and Beatrice Straight. It is sponsored in part by new sugar-free diet 7-Up and Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. Come with me now to a cemetery near New York City. It is late afternoon, an afternoon of gloom and drizzle and cold, damp fog. Two women, half shrouded in the fog, walk amongst headstones that rise like white bones in the gray of the afternoon. They are sisters, these two, Andrea and Sybil Carter, and they are walking toward a certain grave.
Really, Andrea, it seems to me we could have skipped visiting Chris's grave today.
You needn't have come if you didn't want to, Sybil. When we buried our brother 2 weeks ago, I vowed to visit him every day. And that's what I'm doing.
But you can't go on doing this the rest of your life. Even Murray has asked you to be reasonable about it.
Yes, come once a week, he says, or once a month. Well, you know what that would lead to. Coming not at all. No. I love Chris more than anyone else in the world, and I'm... Who's that? What? Someone. A man. Standing beside Chris's grave. I can just make him out in the fog.
I don't see... Oh, yes. A man standing with his head bent as if he were praying.
Shh. He's raising his head. He's turning towards us. Sybil. Oh, Sybil, my God. My God, it's Chris.
Oh, Andrea, don't be silly. It couldn't possibly be.
It is. I'm telling you, it's Chris. It's Chris.
Andrea! Oh, Murray, come in.
Sorry I couldn't come the minute I got your call, Sybil.
Oh, that's all right, Murray. I know how busy your law practice keeps you.
Your estate, you mean, yours and Andrea's. Chris's death has raised all sorts of tax problems.
I'm afraid his death has raised more problems than that.
Yeah? Yeah, what is this all about?
I told you on the phone.
You didn't really tell me what I thought I heard.
Andrea is convinced she saw Chris. Saw him today in the cemetery, standing beside his own grave.
Oh, come on, Sybil. What kind of nonsense is...
Murray, please. I'm telling you the truth.
Where is Andrea?
In her bedroom, sleeping. Dr. Swanson gave her a strong sedative. Murray, she was in such a state, so hysterical.
Look, let me get this straight. You and she went to Chris's grave this afternoon?
Yes. We were walking toward the grave when we noticed a man standing beside it.
And there was a man?
Oh, yes. I saw him, too. He was standing beside the grave with his head bent, as if he was saying a prayer or meditating or something. I had just said I wondered who he could be when he raised his head and turned towards us.
Huh.
That was when Andrea started to scream, "It's Chris, it's Chris." And then she just fainted. Went out cold.
Who was the man?
I don't know.
Well, what do you mean you don't know? You didn't see his face? You didn't talk to him?
It was a foggy day, Murray. It's been foggy all day, and out there at the cemetery it was very foggy. I could barely see his face.
And so if it comes to that, neither could Andrea.
Well, this is the strangest thing I've ever... Tell me, has Andrea had any other brainstorms like this one? Well, has she?
Well, Murray,
Now, look, sweetie, I'm your attorney, yours and Andrea's. If something not quite right is happening, you can tell me. In fact, you'd better tell me.
Oh, Murray. You're more than just our lawyer. You know that. It's no secret that Andrea's in love with you. And that I am, too.
And that I'm in love with both of you and can't make up my mind between you. But what has that to do with it?
Oh, she'll pull herself together sooner or later and straighten out. Chris's death was a terrible blow to her, that's all.
It was a blow to you, too, wasn't it?
More than a blow, Murray. A puzzle. I still can't figure out how he could have fallen over a railing nearly chest high. 18 stories to the street below.
Frankly, I keep wondering about that, too. But about Andrea now...
Murray, the truth is she's been acting very strangely.
What do you mean, strangely?
Well, imagining things. Like Chris this afternoon, and... Well, a few days we went shopping downtown, and I took the Bentley. When we went back to the parking lot to get it, Andrea looked shocked when the attendant brought it around.
Why shocked?
Well, she swore up and down that we'd driven into town in the Jaguar.
That's crazy.
Murray, please don't say that. Don't even use that word. Something even stranger happened last night.
What?
Well, we'd had dinner here in the apartment. And Andrea said she was going to walk down to the corner to mail a letter and get a breath of fresh air. I stayed at the table having another cup of coffee. Well, when she came back from mailing the letter... You couldn't have gotten much fresh air in that short a time.
Fresh air? What are you talking about? What is all this?
What's all what?
Well, the table. The food, the dirty dishes.
What do you think it is?
I'm asking you. What is this?
Oh, it's what's usually left after two people have had dinner.
What two people?
Oh, Andrea, come on now.
Will you answer me?
What do you want me to say? We had dinner. You went out to mail a letter and get a breath of... Andrea, what's the matter?
We did not have dinner here.
We didn't.
We had it at Delahanty's.
See, just like we used the Jag instead of the Bentley the other day.
Now, what kind of a crack is that?
No crack. Andrea, no crack. All I'm saying is you're imagining things again. And...
I did not imagine the Jaguar. I am not imagining this. You and I had dinner at Delahanty's, not here.
In that case, Andrea, where have you just come from?
Come from?
You went out to mail a letter and get a breath of fresh air, you said. You just came back. You just now walked through the door. If that doesn't prove...
You're forgetting the earring.
Earring? What earring?
Here, look. You can see for yourself I've only got one earring on.
Well, you must have dropped it when you...
That's exactly what I said less than 15 minutes ago. When we got home from Delahanty's and were getting out of the car, I said, Sib, I've lost an earring. One that's from that jade pair that Murray gave me for my birthday. I said I wanted to search the car. And that's what I've been doing. I haven't been out mailing any letters. I've been searching in the car for that jade earring. Damn it, Sybil, don't look at me as if I've lost my senses.
You know... I'm beginning to be afraid you have.
I tell you, Sybil...
If we had dinner at Delahanty's, what is all this food and these plates and everything else doing on this table?
I don't know.
Well, darling, I do. We had dinner here.
No. I'm certain we couldn't have.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to call Delahanty. He saw us there tonight. He came over to our table and chatted with us. We'll soon see whether we dined there or we didn't.
Andrea, dear, please. You're simply going to embarrass yourself.
Delahanty's.
Del, is that you?
Yes, who's this?
Andrea Carter, Del.
Nice to hear from you, Miss Carter. Calling for a reservation?
What?
We're pretty full up, Miss Carter, but I'm sure I can arrange something if...
Del...
Yeah?
Del, my sister and I, didn't we have dinner at your place tonight?
You put me on, Miss Carter?
We didn't dine there tonight?
If you did, I didn't see you.
Thank you, Del. He says we weren't there tonight.
Darling, we weren't.
Then I did imagine it all?
Afraid you did, yes.
But it was all so real. Sybil. Sybil, I'm going out of my mind.
And I had a real rough time with her then, too. Believe me, Murray. She was simply beside herself.
Yeah. A Jaguar, this business of Delahanty's, and now today imagining she saw Chris at his own grave.
Murray, you don't think she's... Well, you know.
I don't know. Grief hits some people like a sledgehammer, belts them so hard they never recover. Trouble is...
Yes? Trouble is...
Andrea isn't that kind of people.
Well, Mr. Redmond.
Hello, Del.
Nice to have a future New York DA at my bar again.
That'll be the day. That I make a district attorney, I mean.
Me? I'd bet on it. You drink okay?
Perfect.
Long time no see. You've been busy, I guess, eh?
Very. You too. I see Delahanty's is just as crowded as ever.
I got no complaints. Carriage trade mostly. People that wouldn't go anywhere else but Delahanty's to dine and dance or just have a drink at a bar.
Or gamble.
How is that?
Gambling does go on in the back room, doesn't it?
Where'd you get an idea like that, Mr. Redmond?
Oh, I have ways. If I'm going to help you win your bet and become DA someday, I got to keep on top of things, wouldn't you say, Del?
Yeah. Well, nice having you with us again, Mr. Redmond. Hope to see more of you.
Yeah. Before you go, Del.
Yeah?
A friend of mine, a lady friend, mentioned she thought she'd lost an earring here one night.
An earring?
Yeah, a jade earring. Would you know something about it, maybe?
No, but we keep a lost and found box right behind the bar. Eddie, give me the lost and found box, will you? It was lost here, Mr. Redmond, and we picked it up. It's sure to be. Well, thanks, Eddie. There we are. Now, let's see. Gold cigarette lighter. Look at them rings Dames leave them in the powder room. Money clip. Oh, here. An earring. This what you're looking for, Mr. Redmond?
Yeah. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for, Del.
Well, hey, that look on your face. You look like you found a lot more than an earring.
I have, Del. I have.
Murray Redmond has indeed found more than just Andrea Carter's earring. He has also found that she didn't imagine dining at Delahanty's. Nor then, in all likelihood, did she imagine driving into town in the Jaguar which unaccountably turned into a Bentley. But as for imagining or not imagining her dead brother standing beside his own grave, well, we'll get closer to the answer to that when I return in a few moments with Act Two. We are told that the proper study of man is man. Personally, I prefer to study women. Whether I did or not, I'm sure that had I been handsome young attorney Murray Redmond, unable to decide which of two wealthy sisters I wanted to marry, I'd have been absolutely intrigued by the curious circumstances which now seem to attend them. I'm not sure, however, that I'd have adopted Murray's direct approach.
Sybil is either trying to drive you crazy, Andrea, or she's setting you up for commitment to a sanitarium.
I can't believe this, Murray.
Here's the earring to prove it.
But isn't it possible that somebody else lost an earring at Delahanty's? That's a duplicate of mine. Okay. It isn't. Oh, Murray, I can't believe that.
What you're saying is you don't want to believe it. I don't either, but facts are facts. You and Sybil did have dinner at Delahanty's last night. She arranged things to make it look as if you dined here. And face it, Andrea, if you hadn't lost the earring, and I hadn't picked it up at Delahanty's right at this minute, you'd think you were going off your rocker. And frankly, so would I.
Well, it was clever of you to check for the earring at Dell's.
Well, I'm a pretty smart fella, you know. Smart enough, anyhow, to smell a rat when I come across it. Like this dinner business or the car nonsense or Chris standing beside his own grave. Yeah, and I might as well tell you now, Andrea, I don't believe Chris's death was accidental.
Murray.
No one could have fallen over that railing. Fallen off accidentally, yeah. If he'd been sitting on the railing, even taken his own life if it comes to that. No, personally, I think he was pushed.
Murray, do you realize you're accusing Sybil of murder?
I do.
And of trying to make it look as if I'm crazy.
Yeah?
Well, why? Why would she do anything like that?
Do you really want me to answer that?
No, I suppose not. If what you say is true, and it isn't, the answer could be that Sybil wanted to get control of all our money.
And me.
You?
To lay it on the line, Andrea, she's in love with me.
So am I. What else is new?
Well, there you have it. With you out of the way, Sybil would have, or think she'd have, a clear field.
I just don't know what to say or do.
Well, the thing to do, at least for the moment, is simply to play along. You see, what I want is to get enough evidence against Sybil to nail the truth and her to the wall.
You know what? I'm simply dumbfounded. Oh, it can't be true, Murray. It simply can't.
We all have more than one side, or sides we usually conceal.
Yes, I know. But... Oh.
What's the matter, Andrea? What is it?
That painting on the wall there.
Yeah, what about it?
Well, you've seen it before. Look at it.
I'm looking at it. So what? 3 children playing on a lawn.
There were always 4.
4 kids? I mean, are you sure?
Well, I'm positive. There were 2 boys and 2 girls, and now there are 2 girls, but only 1 boy. Murray, this isn't another of Sybil's...
We'll soon find out. Let's just have a close look at the painting.
Well?
No, I don't see... Wait a minute. Sure. Oh, man, what a skillful job.
Skillful?
Yeah, of painting out the figure of the second boy. Here, see for yourself. You'd never know that figure had been painted out if you didn't look closely, very closely. You see?
Well, yes. My God. It is true, then, that Sybil is...
I'm afraid so, Andrea. However you look at it, Sybil is guilty. Guilty as sin. All I've got to do is prove it.
You get the hell out of my office, Redmond, or I'll throw you out.
Cool it, Dell. Just cool it.
Cool it? You come in here and call me crooked, accuse me of pulling some kind of fraud, and then tell me to cool it?
All right, let's say I advise you to cool it. Look at this.
The earring you picked up here last night. What about it?
It belongs to Andrea Carter. It's one of a pair I gave her. She lost it out there in the restaurant while she was having dinner with her sister, the dinner you said never took place.
I said?
Andrea phoned you last night to ask if she and Sybil had dinner here. You said they hadn't. You lied, Dell. Now, why did you lie, huh?
Okay, so I played a little joke.
Somehow it doesn't strike me so funny. I'll tell you what does, though. Why, you and Sybil Carter teamed up to play this little, joke on Andrea.
Teamed up? Me and Sybil Carter?
What else? Look, Dell, take a lawyer's advice. Open up. Spill everything. And do it now.
Cop a plea? Like that?
Something like that.
Chris Carter, the brother.
Yeah.
He was into me for over 12 grand. He gambled like it was going out of style and always lost.
Go on.
So he falls off the terrace of their apartment and gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out 12 grand. I call up the Carters and I get the Sybil dame on the phone. I tell her how I'm out a dozen big ones and she tells me to drop dead.
Oh.
But the next day, she shows up here and says she'll pay the dough if I'll help her play a little joke on her sister.
Pretty expensive joke, wouldn't you say?
I didn't say anything. If she's willing to get me off the pad for $12,000, I'm willing to help her play her joke. So where's the harm in that? Who gets hurt?
Worse than hurt, Del. Somebody could get dead. Real dead.
Del broke down and told you the whole story. Just like that?
It surprised even me. I guess he's not as tough as he looks, or acts. Fact is, though, that earring of yours stopped him cold. I had him dead to rights, and he knew it.
Murray.
Yeah?
I want to face Sybil with this. Face her right now.
She's bound to try another trick, and probably soon.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the one that hangs her.
If it weren't for you. Oh, Murray. I'd be out of my mind. I'd be stark raving mad this minute.
No, you wouldn't. No, you're too level-headed for that. Well, forewarned is forearmed. You know what Sybil's up to. We both do. So she can't win, Andrea.
Murray, when this is over, let's get married.
I couldn't make up my mind which one of you I wanted for a wife, but I guess I can now. Andrea, I definitely can now. Yeah. Oh, of course, Marcia. Send her in. Oh, come in, Sybil. Come in.
I know I'm interrupting you. It's something important.
You are, but you're worth it. Here, sit down.
Thank you.
How's Andrea?
She's my reason for being here, Murray.
Well, what do you want to tell me?
Murray, I'm worried about Andrea. Terribly worried.
You mean her nervous attacks?
Well, they're more than that, I'm afraid. What you call nervous attacks seem more like delusions to me. I'm beginning to think that she is on the verge of insanity.
Has something else happened?
Yes. There's a picture on the wall of the living room. A painting of 3 children playing on a lawn.
Yeah?
Andrea swears that there were 4 children in the picture, not just 3.
Or were there? 4 children in the picture, I mean.
Well, of course not.
There were always 3.
Well, yes.
You don't sound too sure.
What I'm trying to say is, well, I couldn't swear in a court of law that there were always 3 children in the painting. Well, you know how we look at things after a while without really seeing them. What I am saying is that if there are 3 children in the painting now, then there must have always been 3, not 4.
Makes sense.
Which Andrea's saying that there were 4 doesn't. That, combined with everything else that's happened since Chris died, has got me worried.
It's something to worry about.
So what I came to ask you, do you think I ought to get her to consult a psychiatrist?
Might be a good idea.
Would there be any danger in it?
Danger?
Well, I mean, if she went to a psychiatrist and he discovered that she was seriously ill, I mean, really insane, would she be committed or something like that?
Well, it depends.
On what?
First of all, whether she was dangerous to herself, others. If he felt that she was, he'd certainly recommend placing her in a sanitarium where she could be cared for and perhaps, in time, cured. If that was to happen, if he made that decision, you'd have to sign papers of commitment.
Oh.
Would you?
I don't suppose I'd have any choice, would I?
Well, there's always a choice.
Another thing. If anything like that were to happen, what about the estate?
You know as well as I do, Sybil, that you'd be in complete control.
Well, no, I didn't know.
Your father's will divided his fortune equally among the 3 of you. You, Andrea, Chris. You and Andrea came into Chris's share when he died several weeks ago. If you signed papers certifying Andrea as insane, she would be declared incompetent to handle her affairs, and as next of kin, you'd take over for her. You didn't know that?
As I said, I don't know much, if anything, about these things. That's why I came to see you.
Yeah. Well, now you know. Sorry, excuse me, Sybil. Yes, Marcia. Oh, yeah, put her through.
Murray, come quickly, please.
Andrea, what is it?
Murray, we're wrong. All wrong. It isn't Sybil. She's not playing tricks. Murray.
What happened? Yeah.
Please, God.
Andrea, where are you? Okay, I'm on my way. Andrea, you've got to get control of yourself.
What is it, dear? What happened?
I went to the cemetery to visit Chris's grave.
Yeah, I know that.
A man was standing beside the grave like the other day, Sybil.
Yes, dear, yes.
And like the other day, as I walked towards the grave, he lifted his head and looked straight at me. It was Chris.
Honey, the man we saw the other day wasn't Chris. And neither was this one.
It was Chris.
The way you sound, you sound as if you actually believe.
I do believe it was Chris. He talked to me.
He what?
He said, as I came towards him, he held out his arms to me and he said, "Hi, sis. Thanks for coming."
And it was his voice?
His voice. His face. Oh, Murray, I tell you, it was Chris. It was Chris. To the life.
Well, if you're shocked, think how shocked Murray Redmond must have been. His entire theory that Sybil is trying to have Andrea committed out the window, just like that. On the other hand, Chris couldn't be standing by his own grave. Could he? Perhaps we'll find out when I return shortly with Act 3. It is almost axiomatic that at those moments in life when we are absolutely sure we are right, something happens that shocks us with the knowledge that we are absolutely wrong. Assuredly, that is what has just happened to Andrea Carter and Murray Redmond. Convinced that beyond a shadow of a doubt, Andrea's sister Sybil is trying to set her up for commitment to an asylum, they are stunned to realize that this may not be the case at all.
But, Andrea, what you're saying is impossible. It couldn't have happened.
Oh, I tell you, it did.
Murray, I'm going to phone Dr. Swanson.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll come right over.
Come on, Andrea. What is the meaning of this?
What?
Chris is dead. You couldn't have met him at the grave. You couldn't have talked to him.
Murray, please believe me. It happened. It was Chris.
It's incredible, inconceivable. You say you talked with him? What did you talk about? What did you say?
He said, "Hi, sis. Thanks for coming."
And you?
For a few minutes, I couldn't say anything. All I could do was just stare at him. And he looked at me and he said, "Trust me, sis. I'll explain everything in time. I just wanted you to know that I'm alive."
And then what happened?
And then he said he was going to leave me then, but that I'd see him again soon, and he kissed me on the cheek.
Kissed you?
Yes. And then he began to walk away, and I started after him, but he turned, and then he said, No, don't follow me. You'll understand in time." And I let him go. I let him walk out of my life again.
I can't believe any of this.
I can't believe it either, but it happened. Oh, Murray, what does it mean? This can't be one of Sybil's tricks. The man I talked to was my brother. I don't know who we buried in that grave, but it couldn't have been Chris.
It was.
It couldn't.
I was there. I was there when they closed the casket. I was one of the pallbearers.
Oh, Dr. Swanson's on his way over. How are you feeling, Andrea?
I'll be all right.
Would you like a drink now?
Oh, yes, I could use one, Sybil.
Murray?
Yeah, I could too. Double, please.
Murray, Chris can't be alive, and yet... Murray, we are going to have to open the casket.
Oh, no.
Sybil's right.
Oh, no.
I'll get a court order this afternoon. Don't look so horrified, Andrea. You don't have to be there.
Oh, but yes, I do.
Oh, Andrea, why?
Because I know what you're thinking. Both of you now. You're thinking I'm out of my mind.
I don't.
You must. What I've told you is crazy. Well, I want to be there.
when you open that grave and see for yourself the proof that I'm sane. Or what, dear?
Mad! Stark mad!
All right, gently, boys. Gently.
Open her up now, Mr. Redmond.
Yeah.
I can't look.
That's all right, Sybil. Look, why don't you just go over there under the trees? You don't have to look either, Andrea.
I must.
No, stay there, Sybil. Sybil, don't come here. Don't look.
Murray.
All right, close it up, boys. Close it up.
The coffin, who's in it? Is it...
Yes, it's Chris. And for the last time, Andrea, I do not think you're crazy. You're as sane as I am.
Then, my meeting with Chris and talking to him, it was a trick.
Yes.
But how could it have been done? How could Sybil have managed it?
I don't know. You said that Sybil is clever. I'd say she's diabolically clever. Andrea, I brought this along. I want you to take it, and I want you to keep it near you.
A gun?
Yeah.
Murray, I'm scared to death of guns. I couldn't even touch that thing.
Now, listen to me. There's no question in my mind now that Chris's death was not accidental.
Sybil...
He was pushed off that terrace out there. I'm sure of it. I'm equally sure that Sybil may try to kill you.
Oh, no.
It's a possibility. Her plan to have you committed is not working out, not as fast as she'd like to. I'm trying to stay just one jump ahead of her. It seems to me she just might try to kill you and make it look like an accident.
Like with Chris?
Yes. So here, take it.
Oh, but
take it. And keep it near you at all times. You understand? At all times.
Oh, sorry, Andrea. I hope I didn't wake you. No. Just resting, Sybil. You want something?
Well, yes. I thought we might talk.
About what?
Andrea, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, about you. And I think you ought to see a psychiatrist.
Oh.
So does Murray. Anyhow, he doesn't think it would be a bad idea.
You've discussed it with Murray, have you?
I love you. Murray loves you. It was only natural I should go to him for advice.
You are lying, and you know it.
What are you talking about?
You are either trying to drive me out of my mind or trying to make it look as if I am so that you can have me committed.
Andrea!
Everything that's happened to me since Chris's death, which was no accident, Sybil. You killed him. Everything that's happened since then. Every strange, incredible thing. That business with the cars, the dinner bit. The painting with only 3 children in it instead of 4. Oh, yes. And even my meeting with Chris. Chris in the flesh. I don't know how you managed that. But it's all been arranged. Every single thing arranged by you.
Why should I do such things to you?
To get control of the money that we share jointly. To get Murray for your husband.
You are out of your mind. To think that I would do anything so vicious, so depraved.
Yes, vicious and depraved. You. And when I realized it, when I could no longer hide it from myself and had to face it, that my sister, the sister I loved devotedly, had murdered our brother,
Andrea,
and was now tricking me into thinking I was going out of my head. When I realized that, Sybil, I didn't want to live anymore. I wanted to die.
Oh, Andrea,
I wanted
dearest.
to die.
What are you doing?
Murray gave me this gun to protect myself with against you. I told him I was scared of guns. I'm afraid even to touch them. But I didn't tell him why. I didn't tell him I was afraid I'd use it on myself.
Andrea, no!
I can't go on living, Sybil. All that meant anything to me is gone. Chris is dead. You've turned on me. You want me dead and out of the way so that you can have the money and Murray. Oh, Right then. You shall have what you want now.
Give me that gun.
Give it to me. Give it. Sybil. Sybil. Murray? This is Andrea.
Yes, Andrea.
Murray, I've just killed Sybil.
Shall we go now, Andrea? Andrea, dear, the funeral's over.
So is my life. They're both down there now. Side by side. Under the ground. Chris and Sybil.
Come on. It's cold. You're shivering. Come on now.
All right.
I never thought, when I vowed to visit Chris's grave every day, I never thought that in a few short weeks we'd be visiting Sybil.
What's the matter? Why have you stopped?
Someone coming towards us on the path. Look, they're under the trees.
What?
God, it looks like Sybil.
You're imagining things.
No, look, it's a woman. You can see her clearly now. Sybil's clothes, the blue suit that she wore, the Sybil's hat. Murray! It is. It can't be, but it is Sybil. Why, Andrea. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? I came to visit Chris.
Easy, Andrea. Oh, dear, there's no one here but us. You're imagining things.
No. Sybil, it's you, isn't it? Of course. Look, you're dead. You're dead. Dead? I'm very much alive, as you can see. I killed you. Shot you to death. My God. We just buried you.
Come on now, Andrea. I want you home. I'll get you a sedative.
She's there, I tell you.
I don't see anyone.
I do. Heaven help me. I'm mad. I'm out of my mind. Murray. Help me. I've done a terrible thing and I'm being punished. But you've got to help me. Save me.
Terrible thing? What terrible thing, Andrea?
I killed Sybil deliberately. I murdered her, Murray. I murdered her just as I murdered Chris.
You?
I pushed him off the terrace to his death. I shot Sybil to make it look like an accident. I knew if I pointed the gun at my head, she'd try to take it away from me. The tricks and all that happened. Sybil wasn't playing the tricks. I was. You, Andrea? You played those tricks? Here, Murray. Here.
I'm listening, Andrea.
No. You heard Sybil. Sybil.
There is no Sybil here.
Forgive me, Chris. Forgive me, Sybil. Forgive me.
Of course. But why did you do all this?
To make it look as if you were trying to get me out of the way, when all the time I was planning to do away with you. It was all a trick. It was nothing but a trick.
Yes, a trick that backfired, I'm afraid. Backfired on you, Andrea.
What?
You heard me correctly. You've been fooled. Fooled by your own trick.
Understand? I don't...
Tell her, Sybil.
standing there?
Yes, Andrea. I am. And very much alive.
What? How?
Oh, Murray. You tell her. I can't.
Andrea, you went too far. You overreached yourself. Your story about meeting Chris clinched things for me. It was impossible. Either you had to be insane, and I knew you weren't, or you had to be lying. And that was when I decided to force your hand and use a few tricks of my own.
Oh, what about the gun you gave me?
It contained blanks.
Oh.
I took Sybil into my confidence. I had to, and she played her part very well.
I'm sorry, Andrea. But you did bring it on yourself.
Yes. Yes, I did.
All right, Andrea. Let's go.
No.
What?
I don't want to go home with you. I'm too ashamed. Please. I don't want to go home.
We're not going home, Andrea. We're going to the police.
As I said at the outset, the world changes, but people do not. There are those who believe this planet we inhabit is a school where we are sent by God, by Providence, what you will, to learn to be better. Experience, of course, is the teacher, a harsh teacher, but an effective one. I think you'll want to know that Sybil Carter is now Mrs. Murray Redmond, and they are very happily married. Andrea is living quietly and comfortably in a sanitarium. For as it turned out, strangely enough, this woman who pretended that her sister was trying to drive her mad really was. Our cast included Beatrice Straight, Paul Hecht, Marion Seldes, and George Petrie. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
He stood by the door of the study, one hand holding the brass gong by its silk braid, his eyes watching the clock on the mantel as it started to strike midnight. Philip watched the door. I sensed he was prepared if Helen failed to respond to the gong. He would strike the gun out of her hand. I resumed the experiment. Pick up the gun. Come into the study, Helen. The study, Helen. Helen walked in, Philip mouth open, unable to utter a word, watching her. Point the gun at me. Pull the trigger. Helen!
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. This is E.G. Marshall. The doors of the mind can be opened into corridors of unlimited possibilities. where time and place have a way of melding into strange and provocative patterns. Most ghost stories take place in the dark of night, or when shadows are long and the moon is crossed by clouds. But we're about to meet a ghost at high noon, on a blistering hot day without a shadow in the sky. In the course of our story, the two women who are embarked upon a fateful journey find respite from the merciless sun when they are drawn toward a barn from which comes a very human sound.
So dank and musty. What a place for a baby. The sound comes from there.
No, the sound comes from over here.
Over here. The sound is right here.
Yes, and this is a crib. But Marion, I know there's no baby in it.
Our mystery drama, Ghost at High Noon, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elizabeth Pennell and stars Celeste Holm. It is sponsored in part by New Sugar-Free Diet 7-Up and Contact, the 12-hour allergy capsule. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. Our story begins on a long, straight ribbon of highway in an arid section of the western United States. Marion Jeffries and Janet Marston are longtime friends who are returning home after having driven Marion's son to a summer camp.
What a lonely stretch of road. I don't like it. Oh, come on, Marion. No road is lonely at 10 o'clock in the morning.
This one is. George was right when he said we should make this part of the trip either very early or late at night.
Well, neither of us ever gets up at dawn. And I don't think two women should travel the highways after dark.
Oh, I don't mind driving at night.
Well, then why didn't you say so yesterday? That motel we stayed in was certainly no prize.
Oh, not so bad. Anything to get away from home for a few days.
Not from my point of view.
Well, you can travel anywhere you want to at any time.
Sometimes I do it only to keep from being bored.
Nonsense. You don't know what being bored is like. I wanted to make this trip last longer. Really, Janet, it's an adventure for me.
Well, I've enjoyed it, too. It's given us a chance to catch up. But I must say, this stretch of highway is deadly dull.
Well, I wouldn't mind if it went so beastly hot. There's not a car in sight.
Marion, I have an uncomfortable feeling that there are things ahead of us on the road.
Oh, I'm glad you're not driving.
But don't you see those wavy lines? Shapes rising up, coming closer and then fading away?
Sure, heat haze.
And over there, look.
Nothing but bare, dry land and sagebrush.
I swear I see buffalo. And Indians.
Oh, this terrible August heat has gone to your head. But I admit I'll be glad when we get to the next... Uh-oh.
What's the matter?
We're losing speed. The accelerator isn't working.
Oh, please, let's not have a breakdown way out here.
Motor's dead.
But we're miles and miles from anywhere.
I know.
Well, let's do something. We can't just sit here.
I'm just running the battery down. Then we'll be in a worse mess.
Are you absolutely sure we have gas?
Well, of course I am. Look at the gauge. And you remember when we got it.
I'll look under the hood. Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Well, if you know what you're looking for.
Good Lord, feel that blast of hot air.
You'd better get back in while I check the manual. It's here, somewhere in the glove compartment.
Marion, it must be 110 out here. Ouch!
What's the matter?
The hood. It's so hot I can't touch it.
Well, get back in the car while the air conditioning lasts. We just better let the motor cool off.
Cool off? In this blazing sun?
Hurry, close the door.
So now what do we do? I feel so helpless not knowing about what makes a car run or stop running. George always says, oh, skip it. I'm going to study this manual and see what happens when a motor's overheated. Maybe if I put on these gloves. Gloves in this weather? Well, then I could open the hood and look for a loose wire or something.
Stay here. We'll think of something.
I'm thinking very hard. No barn, no tree. Marion, what if we really are...
Take it easy, Janet.
I said this trip was an adventure, so let's make the most of it. Then I suggest that we get out and start walking.
Absolutely not. The best thing we can do is sit quietly here in the car.
That's not my idea of an adventure.
Someone's bound to come along.
Janet?
What?
Look. Look over there. Is your window closed tight?
Make sure. It's a dust storm heading straight for us.
That's not a storm. It's someone coming. But there's no road out there.
Nevertheless, someone is coming.
Well, they must be choking with dust. It's almost too thick to see us.
We'll flag them. We'll flag them down. I'll get out and wave the scarf. Only, well, fantastic. It's horses.
Janet, this is unbelievable. Look at what they're pulling. It's a mirage. It must be a mirage.
No, they're real.
Marion, you said I was suffering from heat.
Not this time.
You do see what I see, don't you?
A covered wagon.
And a man who looks at least 150 years old.
Morning, ladies.
Good morning. Who are you?
I'm usually called Old Timer, but my name is George.
That's my husband's name.
I do not have the pleasure of knowing your husband, Miss Jeffries.
How do you know me?
I've come to take you and Miss Marston to the village.
He knows my name, too.
Of course, I know your names. And now, if you were both...
You will fix the car for us, won't you?
Oh, I have no idea whatsoever how you propel these remarkable new conveyances.
But you knew we were here. You must have come to help us.
Oh, yes, I'm here to be of service. Come along, ladies. Mirado is expecting you.
Mirado?
Mirado is the town beyond the hill.
What hill?
Over that-a-way.
Well, it's perfectly flat.
You'll see the hill when we get to it.
But a hill can't...
Please, ladies, step into my wagon.
But we don't want to step into your wagon. We would like to be on our way.
This is your way.
I don't think you understand. We're going in this direction, straight ahead, unless there's somewhere we can wait until help arrives.
I have to get home. I mean, my husband's expecting me.
Mr. Jeffries does not know what day this is.
Well, we know what day it is, and both of us have to get back. We live quite a ways from here, but perhaps if I could call my husband...
Oh, he would never hear you if you called from here, Miss Jeffries.
Marion, I think this man is not quite right in the head.
We don't want to bother you, Mr. Oldtimer, but what we really want is just to be on our way in my automobile.
Ladies, your automobile will never take you to where we're going.
But we're not going anywhere with you.
Mr. Oldtimer, I think it would be best if you'd be good enough to go back to your town and ask a mechanic.
Mechanic?
You know, a garage man. Someone who can fix an automobile.
Why, no one in Mirado knows anything about automobiles.
Marion, what are we going to do?
I don't know. But if there is a town, as he says, I can't believe
My orders
they don't...
are to take you to Mirado.
What do you mean, your orders?
Why, you have come to help us just as I'm here to help you.
Well, then help us, will you, please?
Aye, that's better. Come along. You cannot sit here in the sun.
Well, he's right, Marion. And I'm getting terribly thirsty. At least we could get some water and find a telephone.
A telephone?
Don't tell me your town is that primitive.
I've never been privileged to see a telephone.
But you will send someone for help.
I will take you to Mirado. That is all I can do.
How strange to be riding in a covered wagon. It's not nearly as uncomfortable as I thought it would be.
That's your idea. At least the countryside is changing.
It sort of lulls you.
Why, look, Marion, there is a hill, and we're climbing. But the horses seem so tired and old. I mean, you think we're going to make it?
We're almost there. Down in the valley. That's Mirado.
Incredible. And Janet, look.
There are houses. Houses.
That means there must be water.
We have a fine village pump.
And people who can help us. But this town is not on the map. I've studied the map very carefully. It shows nothing.
Look down there, Miss Marston. See for yourself.
Not very big, is it? But you must have a restaurant.
We have a tavern, and a church, and a jail.
What's the population?
Well, that depends. Get along there, Jezebel.
The street, Janet. Janet, where are the people? It looks deserted.
No one round at this time of day.
Why, Janet, it's a ghost town.
Yes, you could call it that.
But surely you don't live here alone.
Oh, no, indeed.
Now, will you please take us...
Oh, no! If you'll step down, ladies, you can get yourselves a drink at the town pump.
I can hardly wait. Oh, this rusty old cup. But I'm thirsty enough to drink from anything. I'd like to put my head under it. Feels wonderful on the hands and arms. But it tastes so brackish.
Hasn't been used in a long time.
Now, where can we go for help?
I will show you the points of interest.
No sightseeing right now, please. But thank you. Do you have a telegraph office?
Oh, no, indeed, Miss Jeffries. Scouts used to take our messages, although there is now no reason to send a message.
No reason? Tell us right now how to find someone who will go to the next town.
Ladies, you are going to stay in Mirado.
Well, I suppose we're going to have to for an hour or two.
You have come home, Miss Jeffries.
Oh, stop making jokes, Mr. Oldtimer.
Mirado's a place where people stay forever.
Stay? In this deserted place? We'll soon see about that. Let's go to the mayor or to the police chief or anyone in charge.
You won't find them now. Not a soul till a stroke of noon.
Why not? Someone must live in these houses. Where are the people?
Asleep, Miss Marston. They're sound asleep.
That store over there. Surely inside we'll find someone who...
No one there yet, Miss Jeffries.
Well, I'm going to look anyway. Will you come with me, Marion? Yes, but it's all so quiet and eerie. Not a sound.
Oh, you'll hear sound, all right. In the barn, cross road, out in that field.
What sort of sound?
Find out for yourself.
Well, you're not being very helpful. I don't like this place. Mr. Oldtimer, you have some explaining to do. You said we were expected.
You are, dear ladies, you are.
Who are you? How did you know our names?
It was destined that you were the ones to be chosen this time.
What are you talking about? Please, Mr. Oldtimer. Chosen for what?
On the hottest day of the year, when the heat haze spreads across the desert, Mirado comes back to life and claims two people from the modern world.
There may be no new thing under the sun, but a frightening prospect confronts Marion and Janet if Mirado really has a living past. It is possible that George is merely a foolish old man, touched in the head by too much heat. But on the eerie streets of a ghost town, you never know what sinister forces may be at work. The two distraught ladies seem to be getting further away from help with each passing moment. We'll return to them and the old-timer shortly with Act Two. Stranded on a lonely stretch of road when their car broke down, Marion Jeffries and Janet Marston have been taken to the strange ghost town of Mirado. In vain, they have tried to persuade their ancient escort to help them get back to civilization. But he has an unsettling way of insisting that they have come home to Mirado, and that here they will stay. Their panic is growing with each new turn of events. Aside from the old man, there is no sign of life on the narrow streets.
And so you see, dear ladies, we are happy to welcome you.
We? You keep saying we. Where are the others?
Later, Miss Marston. You'll meet them later.
We really can't stay very long.
Miss Jeffries, I'll show you to your quarters.
My quarters? Truly, we are not planning to be here long.
Come with me, both of you. We need you, Miss Jeffries, in the tavern here. Come, we'll go inside.
Oh, I don't want to go in there.
Oh, nothing to be afraid of. Come along.
Janet, the pewter plates. Look. And the glassware. Oh, my, I'd like to take these home. Maybe we are in luck after all. Marion, I didn't touch it. Honestly, I didn't. I just put my hand toward that goblet, and it shattered.
Follow me, ladies. The kitchen here is equipped in the best possible way.
Why, it's covered with dust. That wood stove hasn't been touched for years.
I think you will find that it will soon be ready for use.
But who's going to use it?
It's not for you, Miss Marston. We have other plans. But we understand that Miss Jeffries is a very good cook.
What are you talking about?
This stove is for you, Miss Jeffries.
Marion, your reputation has really gotten around. Me? Cook on that?
Oh, I believe you'll get used to it.
Well, who, pray tell, is there to cook for?
You'll meet them all at high noon.
Marion, we have to get out of here.
Oh, yes, Miss Marston. I'll show you to the place we have for you.
For me? I'm leaving. We're both leaving.
We have real need of a school teacher.
And what makes you think that I know anything about teaching school?
We know a great many things about both of you.
But I haven't taught school.
We know that you like teaching school. And this is a fine opportunity.
Stop it. I won't listen to any more. You said... Janet, I hear something. A voice from the barn. A voice? Oh, please make it a human voice.
I'll be back at high noon, ladies. The bell on the church steeple will strike the hour. And then, at 1 o'clock, it will all be over.
Janet, I'm terrified. He's a madman. Listen. Oh, I hear it. Hurry. There's someone in that barn. It's a welcome sound with a crying baby. There must be a woman nearby. Help me. Help me to open the door. It's stuck. Well, we've got to open it. I think it's starting to move. This door hasn't been opened in years. How could it... Pull harder. Oh, there. So dank and musty. What a place for a baby. The sound comes from over there. No, the sound comes from over here. Right here. The sound is right here. In the corner. Look in the corner. I don't see anything. It's so dark. A crib. Oh, what a lovely hand-carved crib. You're right. This is a crib. But Marion, I know. There's no baby in it. Marion, tell me you hear what I hear. A baby crying right here in this crib. But there is no baby. Are we losing our minds? Oh, Janet, be sensible. We both hear it. Well, there must be an explanation. Oh, I can't stand it. This spooky barn. Let's get out.
Oh, we can't just walk out on a crying baby. You look on that side, I'll go over here.
But, Marion, I'm frightened. I always was afraid of the dark.
Janet, we've got to keep our heads. That baby must be here somewhere.
It's weird. There's no sense to any of this.
Now, come on. There must be something about the acoustics of this old barn.
The crying has stopped. Oh, Marion, I'm scared to death. Listen to that bell. 6, 7, 8. The old man kept talking about something happening at 12 o'clock. Let's get back to town. I tell you, I'm afraid. Well, you're the one who doesn't like the dark. We can't stay in here. But the baby that was crying. But there's no crying now. There must be a reason. Come on, we've got to find out. Look, Marion, out on the road to town, people.
Thank heaven.
Those 2 men in the field. Let's go talk to them. They aren't moving. They look like statues. Or that painting.
Yes. It's the Angelus.
And that girl who's running.
Only she isn't running.
She's standing still. 12. 12 must be the magic number. That girl is moving now, and she's coming this way. Little girl? Little girl? Can you tell her stop? Please stop. We want to ask you. She didn't hear us. She didn't even see us. Well, those 2 men. Let's talk to them. Sir, would you tell us, please?
Please, we don't want you to stop your work, but we do need your help. I mean,
It's no use. They can't see us or hear us.
This is impossible. They're here. Janet, you do see what I see, don't you?
A man with a spade and a man with a hoe.
Exactly. So I'm going to find out
the way they're behaving. This can't be true. It can't be real.
Nonsense.
They're ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts. Now, I'm going to make this man talk to me.
Look out. You'll be hurt. That hoe is sharp.
This man is real. His hoe is real.
Marion, don't go any closer.
I'm going to touch it.
No, Marion, no. You can't grab his arm.
Mister, you have to listen to me.
He stopped breathing.
I'm not sure he ever was breathing.
But he's standing there.
His eyes. Look at his eyes.
Let go of him.
It can't be.
He's going right back to work again.
What about the other man?
No use. It would be the same thing.
We can try.
No. Marion, I can see the look in his eyes, too. He's dead. Just like the other one. Let's get away from here.
Only, where can we go?
Well, I'm coming around to your point of view. We must be very calm and think this whole thing out very sensibly.
Let's move as far as possible away from these robots.
How about that hillside over there?
Well, maybe if we sit down in the shade of a tree, we'll come to our senses.
It's peaceful here.
But, Janet, we can't stay here. I'm getting hungry.
Maybe that old man was right.
What do you mean?
Perhaps you do belong in the kitchen.
What a terrible thing to say.
Oh, I'm only kidding, Marion. But you were the one who wanted adventure.
Enough is enough. Today will last me a lifetime.
That's what I mean.
You're talking very strangely.
I feel strange. I felt strange all day. Ever since seeing those buffalo.
What buffalo?
Back on the road, when we were in the car. It all seems like such a long time ago.
Oh, Janet, the heat haze, it's gotten to you again.
Perhaps we're still back in that car.
No, we're here, in Mirado.
And that is the strangest part of all.
I agree that Mirado is a very unusual town. But now that it's 12 o'clock, if George was right, if we just go down to the center of things...
Marion, do you really believe there is such a town as Mirado? But, Janet, you can see it from here, just as clearly as I do. Listen. I've heard that sound before, when the old man came. No, but this is different. The way they're traveling, this must be young men. And they're heading down the main street. There must be someone who can help us. Ghosts. They're all of them ghosts. Janet, snap out of it. Come on. Come on. Where are we going? Back into town. I don't think I can stand any more of these ghostly people. But the horses, Janet. Maybe we can get some horses and ride away from this frightening place. I haven't been on a horse in 1,000 years. Neither have I, but we can try. Oh, Janet, we can try. See? They all look so busy. What did I tell you? Siesta time is over. Everyone's awake now. They're far from awake, Marion. The blacksmith shop's over there, and that should be the place to find out about the horses.
Hello, ladies. How are you getting along?
It's the old-timer. Thank goodness, Mr. Old-timer. George, please, we can talk to you.
At your service, ladies.
You'd better be of more service than you were the last time. Well, I know it was you who brought us here, but we simply don't understand.
It's all very simple, Miss Jeffries. You heard the clock strike 12?
Yes, we heard the clock, and we can see the people.
I had my orders. Everything will work out within the hour.
Good. Then you will take us back to civilization.
Nothing of the sort. As I told you before, you're staying here.
But we don't belong here. Those other people, they're ghosts.
I've told you over and over again. You have been selected.
But you said at 12 o'clock we would understand. And that everything would be all right.
It is, dear ladies, it is. We need you, both of you, to go with the others.
We'll pay you well, very well, for you to take us away from here. Anything you ask.
I do only what I'm supposed to do for Mirado.
There is no such place as Mirado.
Right before your eyes, Miss Marston. As you said yourself, it's a very busy town.
Oh, Janet, come on. We're going to the blacksmith shop. I wouldn't dare touch one of those horses. Oh, they look gentle enough to me. That gray one, for instance. I mean, are they real? Of course they're real. And that white-haired blacksmith, he's not like those other men. Look at those rosy cheeks. Most likely from all that heat. I must say the fire looks real enough. Excuse me. Please stop for a moment. It's important. We want to hire 2 horses.
No use talking to old Sam. He's deaf and dumb.
They're all deaf and dumb, every one of them.
Ladies, you've spent enough time in here. There's someone waiting for you.
Well, why didn't you say that before? You found someone who can help us?
Come along. We're going back to the tavern.
Why, that sign in front of the tavern is new. It wasn't there before.
Well, people have been working. Right this way, ladies. Through the swinging door.
And the door. It isn't rusty anymore. Someone's oiled the hinges. Wow, the place is crowded.
Joe!
Welcome back, old-timer. Glad to see you. Did you bring her?
Janet, he can talk. We found someone who can talk.
Well, things are looking up. Or are they? At least there seems to be one other living soul in Mirado. But why did Joe ask that question, did you bring her? Which one of the ladies does he mean? It doesn't sound as though he's going to help them get away. Marion and Janet may be in yet deeper trouble. And the mystery of this ghost town is far from solved. I'll be back shortly with Act 3. At the stroke of noon, the little town of Mirado seemed to burst into life. The streets are crowded now as people come out of their houses and go about what looks like normal everyday business. And there are workmen in the fields. But something is wrong. If you or I should try to speak to these people, would they answer? Our two frightened travelers had no one to turn to except the old-timer. But at last, they have heard the sound of another human voice. A man named Joe.
I asked your old-timer. Did you bring her?
I certainly did. She's right here.
Marion, which one of us is he talking about? Mr. Joe? Is that your name?
Did you explain to her that there is a great deal to be done?
I tried.
He didn't explain anything, Mr. Joe. You tell us.
Oh, no use talking to him at this stage. He can't hear you.
But he answered you. Why can't he talk to me?
Not 1 o'clock yet. You're still in the other world.
I'll make him talk. Your name is Joe. You run this tavern. Now, we need help.
Old-timer, did you show her the kitchen?
Marion, it's you he's talking about.
We got plenty of complaints today about the food. Look at all the customers.
Yeah, looks like a full house.
Did you show her where everything is?
Try to. But so far, she doesn't seem to quite understand.
Oh, she will. You tell her we'll take real good care of her. Nobody ever any more popular around this town than the cook. What'd you say her name is?
Miss Jeffries.
You stop talking about me like that and talk to me. You hear?
Like I told you, Miss Jeffries, he cannot hear you.
He's got to hear me. Now, please, Mr. Joe. You look like a sensible man. You can tell us what this is all about, please.
Well, George, got to be going. Trouble in the kitchen.
See here.
He can't see you either, Miss Jeffries. Not yet.
You tell that new cook she's very welcome.
You're going to like working for Joe. He's a fine gentleman.
Stop it! I can't stand it anymore. Janet, that sad-faced woman in the corner. Let's ask her. No use. I already tried. Just like the rest.
That's Miss Crawford. Widow lady. You'll find her a very good friend when you get to know her.
I want to know her right now, right this minute.
You must be patient, dear lady. Not now. We're on our way to the schoolhouse. We're here, everybody. Get ready.
Oh, Janet. What a darling one-room schoolhouse. No one-room schoolhouse was ever darling. These children are charming.
What do you think of them, Miss Marston?
Well, they all look like normal, healthy children to me. Only I know they're not. Oh, I don't know from minute to minute what to believe anymore.
You had better believe, Miss Marston. The children are doing this especially for you.
They look as though they're singing.
They are. And very nicely, too.
Well, then why can't I hear them? Why?
In time. You'll hear them when you are their teacher.
But I'm not going to be their teacher.
Miss Marston, our teacher is old, as you can see. Oh, the children have learned songs and games.
I didn't think anyone still used those little bells. What are they going to do now?
I think it's time for arithmetic.
Oh, what a bright-looking little girl. The one going up to the blackboard.
There. You see? 7 times 9...
7 times 9 does not equal 56.
That's just what I mean, Miss Marston.
But that teacher is nodding her head. This is outrageous.
Just as I told you. We need someone like you around here.
Why, I'm going up to that blackboard and put her straight.
Oh, no, Miss Marston. You can't do that yet.
But I'm going to.
Don't do it, Miss Marston.
Children, this number on the blackboard is wrong. Here's the way it goes. Oh, dear, this chalk, the chalk won't write on the blackboard.
Don't worry, Miss Marston.
Here, young lady, you take the chalk and I'll show you the right answer.
They've gone back to that game.
Here, now I want to show you something.
It's no use, Miss Marston. None of them can see you.
Well, then why did you bring me here?
So you'd know what to do later on.
You keep saying that.
We've been looking for someone like you for a long time, Miss Marston. And you've come to us at last. You will be their teacher.
You must be joking. Everything is a ghastly, hideous joke.
That will be enough, children. It's time for us all to go.
Marion, I have a feeling that the stage is being set for some tremendous
The hour
catastrophe.
is approaching, and I must get to my station.
Old-timer, please don't leave us. George, you're our only hope.
It's 1 o'clock. Hurry! Run to the town hall!
Marion, listen. I heard the clock strike 1, but the people, they're all talking now. All of them. And they can see us. Look, they're beckoning to us. Let's catch up. It's Dusty. Storm. The beginning of a terrible storm. Look over there. I told you. What did you tell me? This morning when I saw those buffalo and the Indians. The town hall. Hurry!
This sure is a stinking piece of road.
Come on. It's my favorite stretch of highway.
Glad it's not my Pete.
Well, if you had the right car, you could do 200 miles an hour along here.
Yeah, well, watch it, bud. A cop's supposed to set an example.
Bet I can do 150. Shall we try?
No, thanks. You never make it in this thing. And we're supposed to be saving gas, remember?
This road's only fun when you drive as fast as you can. Especially on a day like today.
You know, Sweeney, sometimes I just feel sorry for the poor slobs we haul in for speeding on stretches like this.
Yeah, right along here's the best place to get them.
You actually come out here on purpose just to give them speeding tickets?
Sometimes, when I have nothing better to do.
Hey, slow down, will you?
Why?
There's something up there on the road.
Heat haze.
No. Come on now, Sweeney, slow down, will you?
Hey, I think you're right.
It's a stalled car, that's for sure.
Yeah, rotten place to run out of gas.
California plates. Nobody in it.
Maybe they're sleeping.
Well, we'll soon find out.
This is supposed to be your day off. But I'm still on duty, so here goes.
No, I'm coming too.
Man, feel that heat.
Nobody in the car, Sweeney.
Oh, they'd be crazy if they were.
I got the license number.
If it's unlocked, there should be a registration.
Find anything?
Yep. Belongs to a Mr. George Jeffries, Vallejo Street, San Francisco.
You want me to get that down?
Okay. But where's Mr. Jeffries?
Wait a minute. Ladies' gloves in here. And a scarf?
Guess he wasn't traveling alone.
It looks like women's luggage on the back seat, too.
Say, you don't suppose it was some dame who got stuck way out here all by herself, do you?
No, it's my hunch that there were at least 2 people in this car. But whoever they are, they took the ignition key.
Air conditioning. But that wouldn't work if the motor conked out.
Yeah. Well, which way do you think they'd go?
Wouldn't be stupid enough to walk on such a hot day. They got a ride.
Well, we didn't pass anybody coming this way. They must have gone straight ahead.
Yeah. Could have been some time ago.
So what do you think? Should we push the car off the road?
Car's in plain sight. No traffic. And Midway's only about 10 miles. We'll find a better.
Maybe I should stay here.
Oh, you're off.
Well, I mean, just in case, you know.
I'm sorry we don't have the patrol car. We did. I checked with headquarters. I'll make my report, and if there's any trouble, you can come back with me. We'll bring the tow truck.
Okay. I got it all down. Sedan, color blue.
Yeah. Come on. Get in, and let's go.
There's something in this book I want to check.
What are you carrying that thing around with you for? Boy, what a rookie.
Well, I haven't worked this territory as long as you have. Maybe they'll assign me to a car out here.
Oh, just ask me anything.
I just want to make sure that there isn't some other town or farm or someplace where those people could have gone.
Oh, nothing but desert for miles in every direction.
Well, let's just see. There's Baker, Razor. Hey, Sweeney, listen to this, will you?
Listen to what?
Ever hear of a town called Mirado?
It's not around here.
Well, it's a ghost town, or at least it was. Old trading post.
Maybe 100 years ago.
No, longer than that.
Well, then who cares about it today?
I do.
You know, you're really something.
Well, just a minute. Can I read it to you?
Read it. Since I got nothing better to do, go on, read it.
It says here that in August of 1846, a band of bloodthirsty Indians swooped into the little town of Mirado and killed all but one of its inhabitants.
All but one?
The lone survivor was a baby boy who was found asleep in a crib in a barn. There is a legend that once a year, the residents of Mirado come back to haunt the place. Now, what do you think of that?
I think it's poppycock, made up for the tourist trade.
Hey, look over there, that great big spiral of smoke.
Oh, Johnson, you're a fool. That's a dust storm, and it's coming our way.
Come on, step on it.
If anyone else drove as fast as I'm about to, even you would arrest him for speeding.
Some people believe in predestination, and almost everyone at some time in life comes across a ghost. Our traveling ladies may have met with an unfortunate accident, or perhaps they really were sojourners in time who found a better, or at least a different place to fit into the scheme of things. The ghosts of times past are all around us, and legends persist. The present is made up of the past, and a clock of one century tells time in another. I'll be back shortly. Be grateful for the energy crisis this summer. It may keep you from driving along a deserted highway. Check your automobile and drive with care. There could be a ghost town waiting for you. Our cast included Celeste Holm, Francis Sternhagen, Nat Polan, and Gilbert Mack. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. Now, a preview of our next tale.
I've got some clues. I have those tire marks. They made a mold 5 years ago. And I've got this little button made of bone. It was clutched in Grover's hand. Hey, take a look at it.
I looked. It was a little button. A sleeve button. From a corduroy jacket. One of a host of buttons that adorned that jacket. The jacket I had worn that night. I never even noticed the one that was missing. That jacket. I still have it. I don't wear it often, but I still have it. It's in one of my closets. What you're saying is that if you can find the jacket it came from, you've got your killer.
That's right. I've got it.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, Brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. What is blood? Well, that all depends. To some, blood is a cause for pride. To others, blood is a reason for prejudice. Blood. Mysterious blood. It unites us, it divides us. Ironic, isn't it? When you consider that everyone's blood is the same. Well, practically.
Now, he must slow down, see? The road ahead is under construction.
Are you sure this is the car?
I'm sure. Hand me the rifle.
Are you sure?
I can see him sitting next to his driver. I swore I'd kill him. Now he belongs to me. Now!
I missed him. How could I miss? You didn't miss. Couldn't you see the shells bounce off? His car is plated with armor. His glass is bulletproof. It's impossible, Anthony. You'll never be able to get him.
I'll kill him, Vincent. Somewhere, somehow, I'll kill him.
Our mystery drama, The Only Blood, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Howard Da Silva. It is sponsored in part by Buick Motor Division and Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. I'll be back shortly with Act One. They came by the millions to America. They came wearing a rainbow of costumes and speaking a babble of tongues. Frightened by the strangeness of marvelous, mysterious America, they huddled together for security in clusters of kinfolk, Landsleit Goombas, to begin the often slow and sometimes painful process of becoming Americans. And this is a story of one of them, a man named Anthony Boda. And it happened some 40 years ago in a large East Coast city.
You're not hungry tonight, Anthony.
Oh, yes, I'm really very hungry.
You haven't eaten a bite.
I was thinking.
Oh, about what?
Well, I'm not sure.
Look, you always tell me later. Well, this time, tell me sooner.
$10 is missing.
$10?
Yes.
How is that possible?
Well, you know, thanks to Lewis, we now have a cash register in the store.
I was always opposed to it.
The boy is right. It's the modern way. It's how things are done in America.
But when you kept the money in a drawer, nothing was ever
When
missed.
we kept the money in a drawer, we never knew. How could we tell? This way, every time you take in money, it prints on a paper. At the end of the day, the paper tells you how much money you should have.
Oh, well, then perhaps...
Perhaps what?
Perhaps the paper is wrong.
Impossible. No, what troubles me is it's always $10.
What do you mean, always?
Well, not only is it always $10, but it's always missing on a Friday night.
I tell you, it's that machine.
Oh, for the last 6 weeks. Could it be that Lewis...
Oh, no. Your own son? Your only son?
I don't know what to think.
Throw out that machine.
Go have your lunch, Lewis.
Oh, I promised the lady she could have her shoes at 1 o'clock.
No, I'll finish for you. Go. Mama doesn't like it when anybody's late to eat.
Hello, Louie. What can I do for you, Chuck?
You gotta hand over a fin.
Listen, could we talk about this later?
What's later? I'm here now. Get it up.
Lewis, who is this man? What does he want?
Pop, it's just a
No
little...
reason why you shouldn't introduce me to your old man. The association likes to know all its customers.
What association is this, Lewis?
Pop, I can explain everything later. I saw you last night, Charlie.
Yeah, I know. But the executive board held a meeting this morning. You know how prices are going up everywhere. Like, for instance, what are you paying for leather today? You see what I mean?
So, what with your overhead and everything, we got to go from 10 to 15.
But I don't have the...
Louie, I want to be your pal. But you know how it is.
All right. Here you are.
Louis, what are you doing?
Papa, please.
Keep smiling, Pop. Everybody smiles today. Look at this $5 here. Even Lincoln's smiling. Shows you done a good thing. See you next week. Same time, same station.
So, this is what happens to the $10.
I was hoping you wouldn't find out.
You were hoping what? That maybe I can't add, count?
I used to pay from my own pocket, but lately
So, we belong to the association. For what reason?
Because we have to.
We have to?
Everybody belongs. Every shop in the street.
My son, it is quite possible that you have forgotten who you are. Let me remind you. You are not a sheep who follows. You are a man who leads.
Papa, you don't understand.
I understand quite well. We had these bandits in the old country, too. When several rode up to our farm, my father shot them.
No, Papa, you don't understand.
I understand this, my son. I didn't come to this country to live on my knees.
Jory?
Good afternoon, Vincent.
Well, I can see. Here is a man who carries the troubles of the entire world on his shoulders.
You learn something every day.
What did you learn today?
I learned that men who appear to be strong, proud, and honest are afraid to join their hands together.
I will also turn you down.
Vincent.
These are not just street hoodlums, Anthony. They work for a powerful man, an important man.
A bandit chief?
Perhaps. But here he is respected. He stands well with the politicians. His name is Al Carley.
But how?
Anthony. Certain things are the same in every country.
But there is a principle.
Yes. At first, I too felt bad to pay these dogs for protection. And then there were fights. People were afraid to come in.
But it's wrong.
I see it as just another tax. But this time, I get what I pay for.
You mean you will not fight these swine?
Come, Anthony, what is it? A few dollars? It won't make you, it won't break you.
I see. Well, I will fight him alone.
Anthony.
I must say the chicken is the finest you ever made.
I wanted this to be the best supper in your life.
Is that true? Why?
Because it could very well be your last supper.
Oh, and what does that mean?
Louis has been talking to me about the association.
And what right does our Louis have to worry his mother with business matters? Since when is a woman to be concerned?
Louis is frightened.
Why?
Anthony, there is no way in the world you can defy these thieves.
This is America. Here one does not have to fear.
There is a man named Al Carley. He is what is known as a boss.
He is not my boss. I could never look at myself in the mirror if I bowed down to scum like that.
You will pay these people.
Maria, are you telling me how to run my business?
You will pay these people.
Never.
Promise.
I'll think about it.
Promise.
Very well, I promise.
Papa?
What is it?
I don't think you should be here.
No.
No, Papa, because...
Yes? Because?
He'll be here any minute, and well...
And you would rather I did not witness the shameful transaction that will take place, huh?
You don't have to be involved with it.
You mean I should pretend this thing does not exist, huh?
Okay, Pop, okay. It's just that you've got a short fuse, and I'm afraid one word could lead to another, and, well...
I must see this with my own eyes. Besides, it's already too late. The jackal is at the door.
Well, happy days to Anthony Boda and Son, as the sign reads on the window.
I will pay the money, Louis.
Well, this is a gloomy-looking group. What's the matter? No hello? No how are you? No house tricks? Where's all this old-world courtesy I used to hear about?
Yeah, take your money and get out.
What's eating you, Pop?
I don't like to be called Pop by a common thug.
Listen, Pop. Maybe I better smarten you up.
Chuck, he doesn't mean it.
Now, you don't mean it, do you?
I never spoke a word I didn't mean.
Well, then, that calls for this. I only want to teach you manners, Pop. Now, do you apologize? Or do I knock out your teeth? Louis, explain to your father what the score is.
Papa, please.
Louis, explain why you stand by while this animal strikes your father.
What could he do about it?
He could do this. And this.
No, Papa, don't hit him again.
I'll kill you.
Papa, he has a gun.
I see. Drop it. Drop it. Drop the gun. I'll break your arm. I said to let go of the gun.
What are we going to do now, Papa?
Summon a taxi cab. We will deposit this refuse, this human garbage, at the police station.
Mr. Boda, I'd like to talk to you in private, okay?
About what, officer?
Well, that's why we better talk in private. Now, this way, huh? Sit down, please, Mr. Boda.
Thank you.
I'm Sergeant Carey. Each and every word I'm about to say to you is off the record. If you ever quote me, I'll swear I never said it. Understand?
What is there to understand?
Here's the situation. I'm on duty at the desk. You come in with this badly beat-up hoodlum.
You know he's a hoodlum.
Yeah. He's got a small reputation. But that's all I know. And you say you want to press charges.
By all means.
We only have your word that he tried to shake you down.
And the word of my son and all the shopkeepers in the neighborhood. We can have this...
Suppose all the neighbors dummy up. Suppose they don't want to get involved.
You? An officer of the police? Are you telling me I must submit to this?
No. I'm just trying to give an honest man the same break we give a criminal. When a crook is brought in, we inform him of his rights.
But I still don't see why I must listen.
Al Carley is your enemy. Not that small-time hood. Al Carley's got judges, politicians, businessmen in his hip pocket.
And policemen, too?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Then it's time that pocket was slashed open. And those vermin were exposed to the light of day.
If you bring charges, you'll have the best lawyers money can buy.
Sergeant, thank you for your kindness, but we're wasting time.
Okay. Do this. You say the man you brought in is a collection guy for the neighborhood?
Yes.
Call some of your friends. See if they'll come down and identify him. See if they'll sign affidavits.
Of course they will. All it required was one man to lead the way. How can they refuse me now? Do it as required, Sergeant. Place this animal behind bars.
There is no doubt that Anthony Boda is a man of strong courage and firm convictions. But he may be just a little bit unaware of the qualifications for leadership. We will consider leaders and followers when I return shortly with Act Two. When a hoodlum tried to shake down Anthony Boda, an immigrant shoemaker, Anthony, who believes what he has read about law and justice, promptly disarmed the thug and delivered him to the police station. Sergeant Carey, a wise, cynical, and experienced officer, is trying to explain to Anthony that things are not really the way they seem.
Mr. Boda, listen. Al Carley doesn't want rough stuff for publicity if he can help it. He'll yank Chuck out of there and stick him someplace else if you'll forget the whole thing.
He told you all this?
I don't want you to get hurt.
You are a man with heart, Sergeant. But it is more important for me to discover something.
Discover what?
If I made the right choice when I decided to come to America. Yes.
You Anthony Butter?
Who are you?
I can be your best friend or your worst enemy.
Mister, I like riddles, but not in the middle of a working day. What's your business here?
And my name is Carley, Al Carley. You heard about me?
I heard. I cannot say I like what I heard.
But I like what I heard about you.
Yes? What have you heard about me?
Hey, tell me you're a man.
And?
And so you shouldn't be concerned with that little situation that happened here the other day.
Why?
Because it's beneath you.
I will not be slapped by hoodlums.
Of course not. You gave better than you got. Your honor should be satisfied. Now forget it.
This matter is now in the hands of the law.
Of course. But in whose hands is the law? In the hands of the man who can buy better lawyers, better witnesses.
I'm not sure I understand what you want.
In this case against my collector, well, he is scum, isn't he? Well, this case must not go to trial.
Why not? You have the lawyers, the witnesses, the judges, the juries. What have you got to fear?
I have read the Bible.
A pity you don't take it seriously.
Back then, when the fight was arranged, who could have believed that David would kill Goliath, huh? Drop the charges.
No.
Anthony, I want to get away from this rough stuff. I got a kid. She's going to college. American society girls go to that college.
This daughter of yours, she knows, of course, what her father does. Really does. I see.
Anthony, I need a guy like you.
To do what?
What, to help me run my organization?
You don't want me.
Plenty of guys got guts, Anthony, and plenty of guys got brains. But you're one of very few guys who got both. Why are you killing yourself in a shoe repair store, huh?
You don't want me, Mr. Carley. If I ever decide to become what you are, there wouldn't be room for us both in the same organization. Do you understand me?
I came here because I like to avoid bloodshed. You're a chump. You'll never know what hit you.
Vincent, were the police here to see you, Vincent? Well?
Yes. Someone from the district attorney. I received another visitor, too.
Who?
This gentleman explained certain facts.
Facts?
Yes. This gentleman explained that in order to run my business here, I need a license.
You always knew that, Vincent?
Yes. But he explained that when I apply to renew my license, there might be difficulties.
You get your license from the government, not from these hoodlums.
But you see, this gentleman is with the government. That part of the government that sees to these things.
I don't believe it. I spoke with the lawyers in the district attorney's office. I believe them to be honest and sincere men. They said they would protect me. They would protect you, too. Calm, Vincent. Talk to them.
I'll think about it.
What's there to think about?
Tony, things are not so simple.
I see. You have already thought about it, and you have decided.
Good morning, Mr. Bowden.
The police sergeant.
Now that you're going through with it, we'll protect you as much as we can.
Thank you.
No, we should thank you. You're doing something no one has done before. You're a man of courage.
What chance do we have?
It'd be better if we could have more witnesses, but maybe they'll come around. The newspapers have caught hold of it. I brought you a copy. Here, see what it says.
Shoemaker defies mob. This is about me.
Mm-hmm.
That man who spoke to me in the police station, he was a reporter.
That's right.
Well, we have won.
No. We have to win in court.
But the newspapers say
For the papers, you're today's sensation. Tomorrow, it'll be somebody else. Don't go anywhere without telling us. And we'll have a man watching the store day and night. Hello?
Yeah, where you been? Well, how come I couldn't reach you all morning yet? Yeah? Well, what have you been doing? You're supposed to keep it out of the papers. It's all on the front pages. Listen, this case can't go to trial, you understand? But you figure it out. That's what you get paid for. Clowns. I'm surrounded by clowns.
Oh, Daddy.
Marissa, what are you... I mean, shouldn't you be in school?
Yes?
Something the matter?
Daddy, I even have a midterm exam.
When?
At 2 o'clock.
Well, that's 4 hours from now. I'll drive you back up there myself,
No,
huh?
no, I have my car.
Marissa.
Look, there are stories in the papers, and my friend said to me, of course, it isn't your dad. And I said, of course not. It's another Alcali. And, well, the reason I came down here...
Was to ask me...
Oh, Daddy, I didn't know what to think.
It is another Alcali. Daddy would...
I knew it. Oh, Daddy, can you ever forgive me?
What's to forgive? How's school?
Oh, look, Daddy, would you mind terribly if I change my major? I've decided, finally. It's sociology. I want to work with poor children.
Okay, you go right ahead, baby. You do whatever you want.
Oh, well, some of us are thinking of renting a store or something downtown and helping kids study the core subject.
Hey, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pay the rent and buy the books.
Oh, Daddy, I don't know what could have possibly gotten into me. How could I have even thought...
Forget it, Marissa, baby. Forget it.
What I forgot was what I should always remember. It's in the Bible you bought me. Honor thy father.
Hey, you better get back to school.
See, Louis? See what it says in the newspapers.
Papa, I just wish I were like you.
You're my own son. You're just like me.
No, Papa. Very few people are just like you. You were born at the wrong time.
What? How can a man be born at the wrong time?
No. You should have been born when there were great kings and heroes and fighters.
My son, every age needs fighters.
I know I failed you, Papa, but I'm frightened.
There's nothing to be frightened of.
Yes, Papa, there is.
What?
Everything. But I'll stand by you, Papa.
I know you will.
Mama.
Maria, what do you have there?
A package. The letterman brought it to the house.
What kind of package?
I read here. Let's see. It says, from the leather company.
Why would the leather company send a package to the house? Here, let me see it. Yes. It's from the leather company. It's their label. Must be those special strips I wanted.
Papa?
What is it, Louis?
That package.
What about the package?
I don't know. It must be my imagination.
Listen, Louis, your trouble is you live too much in your imagination. Open up the package.
All right.
Well, I'll go shopping. What would you like for supper?
Why do you ask?
You're now a famous man.
Papa, this doesn't look like...
Like what?
Like the leather company package.
Look out, it's a bomb!
Just a moment ago, the shoe repair shop of Anthony Boda and Son was a neat, bright, cheerful establishment. A mother, a father, a son. A close-knit, loving family stood together, talking, laughing. Now the place has become a mass of twisted, smoking wreckage, and 3 bodies lie motionless in the ruin. I shall return shortly with Act 3. When Anthony Boda was a boy in the darkness of the old country, America was a shining beacon light in the distance. Years later, with hard work and some good luck, he was able to come to America with his wife and his son. And because he believed in justice, he defied the gangsters who were trying to extort protection money. And it happened that soon after, a bomb destroyed his tiny shoe repair shop. And the beacon light that was once America for Anthony Boda is flickering faintly and about to die.
Mr. Boda, they say you should be out of here in a couple of days.
Yes.
All of us, we're very sorry.
Thank you, Sergeant.
I know that nothing can bring back your wife and your son.
Tell me, Sergeant, why were they killed at once, while I received only scratches?
Well, it has to do with the angle of forces, I suppose.
No. I mean, what reason? What plan? Why had the Lord seen fit?
For that, you would have to ask a priest.
I have asked a priest.
And?
And he said God's ways follow a mysterious design. So you see, I am no wiser than before.
I'm sorry about the other thing, too.
What other thing?
The trial.
Oh, the trial.
I should say that there was no trial.
It doesn't matter.
The hood just disappeared. So there was no defendant. Carly must have had him taken for a ride.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, yes, it does. You set an example for us. You woke a lot of people up. We're after Carly now.
It doesn't matter.
You can't keep saying it doesn't matter.
I have succeeded in unraveling the riddle myself. You see, I had become arrogant. I had forgotten the law of nature. The strong destroy the weak. I had seen my pictures in the newspapers. My head was turned as if I were drunk on champagne. I didn't listen to men of experience and true wisdom. Men like my friend Vincent. Pay it. It's just another tax. I've been punished.
You can't talk that way. Believe me, Mr. Boda, we'll break up that mob.
That will be your affair.
Carly figures he can ride out this particular storm just like he rode out others, but he won't.
Of course not. I intend to kill him.
You can't make your own justice, Mr. Boda.
But I must. That's the only justice there is.
I didn't think you would ever speak to me again, Anthony.
We've been friends too long, Vincent.
I forgot that. I should have agreed to be a witness, not because it was right or wrong, but because a friend asked me.
Maria and Louis.
I'm so sorry, Tony.
They must be avenged.
What are you saying?
I must kill this animal. Kill him personally. This Al Carly.
Tony, this kind of thing, it's not done in America.
I'm sick and tired of being told what is and what is not done in America.
I don't want you to get into trouble, Tony.
I come to you as a friend. Will you help me?
Well,
the answer is yes or the answer is no. The answer is not well.
The answer is yes.
The hunting rifle, the one your father made.
Tony.
There's no better, no more accurate weapon in all the world.
But what can you...
It gives me 2 barrels, the over and the under. I need only 2 shots. One for Mr. Carly, the other for his bodyguard.
Well, you can't walk around the streets with a rifle.
No, there is no way to get him here in the city. But I have learned something. On a Friday night, he slips away. He takes the turnpike north. He drives alone, except for this bodyguard.
Tony.
There is a place where the road is being fixed. So one must slow down. That's where I will be in ambush. Well, the rifle.
Can I talk you out of this, Tony?
No.
I knew that. Well, when do we go there?
We.
What is a friend, Tony? A friend is another gun to stand beside you.
Perfect. This is perfect, Vincent.
And not much traffic. Are you sure he comes here this late at night?
Yes.
And is that...
No. See? See how the car must practically crawl past because of the construction? This barricade gives us perfect hiding place.
I put blacking on the gun barrel so it wouldn't shine in the moonlight.
Thank you, Vincent.
I have a score to settle with him, too, you know.
Oh, not as great as mine.
No. That's why you may have the first 2 shots. After that...
Listen.
Is that...
Yes.
You sure?
Yes. I can even make out his evil face in the moonlight.
Let him come just a little closer.
I've got him. Now. How could we miss?
We didn't miss.
He's gone. He's got away.
Tony! Didn't you see? The shell simply bounced off. His car has a coat of armor. The glass is bulletproof. There's no way we can shoot him. There's just no way.
Hello, Mr. Boda.
Good evening, Sergeant Carey.
I figured I'd find you here in Vincent's.
You are looking for me?
Mm-hmm. I hear you and Vincent went hunting last night.
Hunting?
Yeah. You did some shooting up around Southchester.
I don't know where you receive your information, Sergeant.
That's not the right way. By now you should know you can't gun him down. After last night, he'll build up more protection than ever.
That's true. There is no way I can get to him.
I'm glad you realize that before you get into a lot of trouble.
But there is a way I can make him come to me.
What are you saying?
Yes. I can make him come to me himself. With blood in his eye. Burning with hatred. Obsessed with the desire to murder me with his own hand.
Mr. Boda.
And then, of course, I will have every right to kill him. Because, you see, I will be compelled to kill him in self-defense.
Oh, hello.
Good evening.
Well, I'm afraid school's over for the night. I'm just closing up. You have a child you want us to tutor?
No.
Oh, well, then, what can I do for you, Mr.
Boda. Anthony Boda. Is the name familiar?
Well, I don't know. I seem to remember seeing it somewhere, but I can't recall. What do you want, Mr. Boda?
Your father, among 1,000 other crimes, killed my wife and son.
What? What are you saying?
You know what I'm saying.
But you must be mad. I'll call the police.
You call the police? But why? I've done nothing wrong. I have merely stated a fact.
Look, you get out of here.
Will that change the fact?
My father, he's good, he's kind, he's the most decent man in the world.
How does your father earn his money?
Huh?
Where is his factory? What goods does he handle? In what does he trade? I'm a shoemaker. I smell of leather. Your father, he smells of death because his business is death.
I don't know what you're talking.
Were you about to say you don't know, you don't wish to know? You read, you think?
Look, get out of here. Get out! Get out!
Good evening, Miss Carley.
Dad, you remember I asked you about the man in the papers? You said it was another Al Carley.
Marissa, what are you trying to...
Don't lie to me, Daddy. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, but it was another Al Carley.
Don't lie to me, please. It's bad enough. I've had to lie to myself.
It was another Al Carley. Now listen, please, listen. There are 2 Al Carleys. One is your dad. The other is somebody who does what he has to do. The only thing he knows how to do.
Oh, I never saw it before. I suppose I never wanted to see it, but a man named Anthony Boda, just a shoemaker, opened my eyes. and I can never close them again.
Boda? Did you say Boda?
Anthony Boda. I have never seen such dignity.
I was a fool. I should have made sure of him before. But I'll kill him with my own 2 hands. I'll kill him. I'll cut his heart out. Benji, can't you get more speed out of this heap? Come on, faster. It's a state trooper. Lose him. Look out, that idiot up ahead, he's turning, he's, look out! Mr. Boda.
Yes. Ah, the sergeant.
I've been looking for you. Hop in. You heard the news?
I heard the news.
He was coming after you.
I knew he would. But I have been robbed. I will not have my revenge. He's dead.
No.
The radio said he cannot live. So you see, there is no justice for me.
And do you know why he can't live? He needs blood.
He can buy all the blood he needs.
No, he can't.
Why not?
Because it so happens he has a very rare type of blood. And he needs a transfusion from someone who has that same type. Only someone with that same blood can save him.
Surprising. I thought his blood would be as base and as common as sewage.
We do know of a donor. The hospital has a record of someone with the exact same blood type.
Why tell me?
Because you are the blood type.
I me? I have the same blood as that swine?
Yes, Mr. Boda. The only person we know of.
How was this fact made known?
Well, when you and your wife and son were brought to the hospital, naturally your blood was typed. One of the lab technicians happened to remember. Well, that's the blood Carly needs. Or he'll die before tonight.
You expect me to give my blood to the murderer of my wife and my son? You expect me to keep this animal alive?
Mr. Boda.
How I prayed that I would kill this monster. I thought my prayers would never be answered, but they were. They were. I now hold his life in my hands. So you see, Sergeant, this is justice.
No, that's not justice. It's revenge. Let the law deal with him.
You may drive me to the hospital, but he'll never see one drop of my blood.
And why do you want to go to the hospital?
To look in his eye, to laugh in his face, to let him know who has conquered. Carly. Al Carly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Do you know who I am?
Yes.
Do you know why I'm here?
To torture me.
I was in this hospital. You killed my wife, my son. I swore I would kill you with my own hands.
Mother, please. Please, don't let me die.
What are you saying?
Please.
You beg me, your enemy, your sworn enemy, for your life?
Please, let me live.
This is what makes us tremble? This is who owns judges, lawyers, politicians? This is what we fear? You cowardly animal! Can't you even die decently?
Mr. Boda, you came. I knew you would come. You see, Daddy, I told you. Mr. Boda is a man. Does the doctor know? Have they been told to prepare for the transfusion?
The transfusion?
That's why you came. isn't it, to give Daddy the blood? Daddy said you would never do it. Daddy said you would drain every drop of blood from your own body and die first before you...
A young girl should not talk like that in front of her father. Now, you must say no more. Carly. Al Carly, can you hear me?
Yes.
Al Carly, you are very close to eternity. Speak the truth. For the very first time in your life, the truth. Look into my eyes, Al Carly, and tell me. Tell me. If it were the other way and I lay dying, would you give me your blood? Answer. And remember, God is listening. The truth, Al Carly. Would you give me your blood? Would you?
No.
Daddy.
This is between your father and me. You would not give me your blood, Al Carly?
No.
Then this is the difference between us. I will give you mine.
Al Carly recovered. He stood trial. His empire collapsed like a towering castle of sand when the high tide sweeps up on the beach. Al Carly will not be around for a while. 99 years, to be exact. But when his daughter needs advice and comfort, she visits with Anthony Boda. They're good for each other. Each makes up for something the other has lost. I'll be back shortly. The Anthony Bodas, the Al Carleys, each brought the same blood to the melting pot of America. But the melting pot is a crucible where men, like steel, may either be hardened or destroyed. Our cast included Howard Da Silva, Ken Harvey, Robert Dryden, Bryna Rayburn, and Jack Grimes. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown.
Now, a preview of our next tale.
Oh, be quiet, Eddie.
Your husband isn't thinking straight, Mrs. Breach. It isn't that easy. You think that Harney will be satisfied if I let him live? If I walk off this job, somebody else walks in. This isn't the only gun in the world.
He's right, Eddie. Maybe the only way is to give him the money back.
There's nothing to give back. You think money stands still in this business? Look, maybe if we left town, went to Mexico or someplace.
Harney won't give up that easy. It means too much to him.
Well, I'm not staying here. I'm getting out. I'm getting as far away as I can.
Eddie.
Both of us, Connie. I meant both of us.
You expect me to run in a wheelchair? Maybe Mr. Derry can tell us what to do.
I can think of only one thing. Joe Harney wants a dead body. That's what we'll have to give him.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by New Sugar-Free Diet 7-Up and Contact, the 12-hour allergy capsule. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.